Just imagine this. In the American state of Arizona, there's a real invasion. Up to 10,000 illegal immigrants a day. That's right, 10,000 every day. Here, the solution seems to be talk tough. There, it's act tough, real tough. From this month, police can stop anyone, anywhere, demand to see their ID, and if they're illegal, jail them on the spot. And if they're unfortunate enough to run into one particular sheriff, they'll end up wearing pink underwear and working on the chain gang. This is what it's come to. 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 This is what it's come to.
America was founded by the English,
but also by the Germans, Dutch, and French.
This is what
the
it's come to.
principle still sticks, our heritage is mixed. So any kid could be the president. You simply melt right in. It doesn't matter what your skin, it doesn't matter where you're from or your religion. You jump right into the great American melting pot. Great American melting pot.
That's proper, boy.
Worthless. Look at that. No sound at all. Goddamn ninjas. Ugh.
Percolators make horrible sound effects.
At least modern ones do. Somewhere along the lines, the pour became not part of the process, whereas to me, it's vital.
Now that anybody that was teetering on the edge is give them enough time to get back from the restroom.
Yeah. Get
that little warm-up situation going on. So how you been? I know it's been a while since I've been up here.
Yeah. Doing all right, dealing with landlords and hit and runs and
America, right?
fucking America. Yeah, it's been all right. I found a show on Adult Swim. I don't think it's still on Adult Swim, but it's on Max that I hadn't watched before. That is actually pretty great if you get past the horrible animation. That's Smiling Friends.
I hadn't even heard of.
It is so fucked up.
Television is not something I've been keeping up with.
Oh man, well, you see, nothing good comes out of not keeping up with TV shows.
Now, but I have found a new way to get a perspective on the way other countries can view certain aspects of our lives. And it's been quite funny for me.
Yeah.
Interesting and entertaining. Watching one nation react to another nation visiting us. There's a handful of them, but it's interesting to watch somebody from one country that's not here reacting to somebody else's reaction to actually being here, because you get two different perspectives of the same thing. I've just watched one where this New Zealand family went through Walmart for the first time. They visited here and went to Walmart. Of all fucking places, they went to Walmart.
I mean, it's violently American.
And there was a Brit watching it.
Okay.
You get two different perspectives.
I assume Walmart is in neither of those countries.
I don't think so.
Okay.
In fact, I'm pretty sure they don't, because both of them were balking not only at the amount of choices that we have available here, but at the size of our packaging. They're like, oh my God. They picked up like a maple syrup, right? You know, syrup for pancakes, not just maple syrup, but just syrup for pancakes. They were amazed that we had anything over a pint. It's like, this is what we have. And, you know, then they turned over there to the side where the gallon was and damn near freaked the fuck out. Like, okay, we're spoiled. Yeah, you know.
You can buy New Zealand at Walmart.com for $10.43.
Oh my God.
Fuck you. Here I am looking for a place to rent, and I can have everywhere that was in Lord of the Rings. I can live on the Shire.
That'd be cool as fuck though. For reals. I wouldn't mind a hobbit hole myself.
I already love their diet. You know, their eating schedule. I find it wonderful.
Absolutely.
There are apparently no retail locations in New Zealand.
I wouldn't think so. I think it is 100% American. I don't think there is any. There may be one in some in Canada and body spread there, but I don't think they're going anywhere.
Countries.
But just the fact, and you know, when the guy saw our toilet paper, the Brits' reaction to when they went down the toilet paper aisle, saw that we have like 72 roll packaging.
Yeah.
He about shot out of his fucking seat, man. He never seen something like that in his life.
Well, I mean, the U.S., Canada, China, and then a bunch of third world countries.
It is. It's way more widespread.
And a little bit in the United Kingdom.
A bigger problem than I thought.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it, yeah. Nowhere near as many as the United States, but...
Hey, let's not even... Don't even bring up the subject of McDonald's and for counting stores per foot capita.
Man, the largest real estate holder in the world is McDonald's.
But yeah, their reactions to it was just fucking... They were not only hilarious, but telling of just how fucking privileged America is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And how much waste we have.
That's the main part of it, right?
These countries are getting by with fucking beef jerky packs that are, an ounce, maybe two. They're getting our big leagues bags that are fucking, and they're like, oh my God, it's only this big over at home.
And also, then compare that to the obesity rates and the diabetes and heart disease.
No, that just shows we don't need none of that shit because they're getting along just fine with the smaller stuff, and we're over here with big giant packaging and thinking we can't afford shit because we're paying so much for the same. Oh my God!
I mean, look, me and David about a week ago were both like bitching about how much a bag of Dorito costs now compared to you get one of the big bags for like $2.50. Now they're almost $6.
It's like, fucking ridiculous.
I haven't had Doritos in forever.
It's fucking ridiculous. And it's not just political thing. It's been going up and up and up. It's that COVID shit and recovering from COVID and all that shit has definitely played hell on our fucking economies.
Well, and then they said, well, people were still willing to buy it at the higher prices. Yeah. So let's just keep them that way.
Exactly. Supply and demand is not the only driver of economics.
No.
Gullibility is definitely one of them.
Economics is the other. we always wanted a self-perpetuating machine, and boy howdy, we actually made one.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of self-perpetuating machines, what are we talking about today?
Okay. That would definitely qualify, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We are definitely a collection of smaller pieces that make up an engine drive. Yeah, okay. I accept it. Migration and immigration. Mainly the immigration, because of course we're Americans, so the only thing that affects us is our own borders. The rest of the world really doesn't matter to us. Just kidding, it's making a point.
Well, I mean, if you actually look at the majority of American opinion and knowledge, it reflects that.
It does. It's not that you don't matter, it's just we, for some reason, think we matter more.
Yeah, there's a Facebook group I used to be a part of on my old Facebook called what was it? America's Not the Only Country. And it was all these people reminding other people on other posts that, there are other countries, right? Like,
Right.
And then you look at like the borders in like say Europe, right? You start to migration is just a thing that constantly happens and just always have. We're migratory animals.
Yes, we are. By whatever force outside drives it. It does not necessarily have to be, food or resources, even though that is still a mass driver. But even if you solved world hunger and was able to feed everybody, there's still other reasons that are going to force people to move from where they are. Mainly political reasons.
Political and environmental climate change is really making me look at Norway.
Definitely going to be something to look forward to in the future. And for you climate deniers, okay, get over yourselves.
Look, I mean, every representation I have ever looked for that shows, trend the highs and the lows for each year. It's just undeniable.
Okay, I will give you the fucking argument of human cost. Okay, who gives a fuck?
It's irrelevant.
Moot.
How do we fix it from this point forward is the thing. How we got here, it's like in Borat 2 when he takes his fake daughter to get, like, he thinks she swallowed a cupcake, little baby on top of a cupcake thing, little plastic baby. And they go to the abortion clinic and they're like, yes, my daughter has child I put inside her. And the guy looks at it, he's like, all right, well, it's not important how we got here. That's kind of what happened.
Regardless of how we got here, we are here. It's woken us up to the fact that the climate actually does change. Regardless of what makes it happen, it happens.
This winter's a good example. I mean, this spring is
What season? I don't fucking
this
know.
February is a good example. We no longer have 4 seasons. We just have 12 months.
Weather's going to do what it's going to do at this moment because we're in a flip point. And there's all kinds of other stuff to look into. It's a whole other discussion that will be coming.
Oh, yeah. We were already talking about bringing it up.
Regardless of the change of the reason and all this stuff, and we'll definitely go and change it. We just need to wake up to the fact that it's happening, and how are we going to live through it? That's the question. Start thinking about it. Hell, start leaving us some message. What do you think about it? What can we do, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, the Stoners Point pod mail, Stoners Point podcast at gmail.com is just mighty lonely over there. I've been actually, after the Trump episodes, I was expecting some hate mail. I had my Jergens hand lotion and my box of tissues. I was ready. Nothing. Crickets.
I even got one of those stimulation boxes, man.
I have a couple of motorized fleshlights.
Nothing like being able to push a button and get that. You're right where you want it.
Yeah. On an unrelated note,
I'm sure we got some shots an email. I'm sure we're on some platforms that allow comments.
Well, yeah, and I haven't seen any. But yeah, so we actually started saying we were going to talk about immigration in the middle of our Trump episodes, right? Because Trump and immigration go together like Trump and immigration.
Trump and anything if you ask Trump.
But he's the best.
Absolutely.
It's true.
Just ask him.
Yeah, and so we started doing research on it individually, and both of us came to the same conclusion independently that it is a very, very nuanced topic.
Oh my God.
With several valid viewpoints, a few invalid ones. And like the larger problems that it points to, like why are people not just migrating but immigrating? What's the big deal, right? Why is it such a big thing now? Why is it happening so much? Well, there's a multitude of reasons for that. I was at first all prepared to come on here and talk about Venezuela and how it's our fault, which it kind of is. Once you consider Monroe Doctrine, pretty much everything going on in Central America, it's fucking our fault, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's why is it so bad now that they're coming here? Why won't we let them in?
If you ain't got oil,
We don't care about
we
it.
don't give a fuck about you unless you're sending drugs to our country. Then we got to disrupt your network and put it in the hands of somebody we can trust.
As time has shown over and over again. So, Mike, you want to start us off with immigration? We want to start with, I guess, for the most part, I guess we're going to be talking about immigration at our southern border, right? Because like the rest of the world, nobody else is coming in. It's only apparently Mexico is where it comes from. You're not hearing jack shit about a Canadian wall or...
Well, I am glad that the narrative on that is actually changing to include to just be a crisis at the southern border instead of a flood of Mexicans at the southern border.
Mm-hmm. Because they only make up a percent,
it's now all those illegal migrants instead of all those Mexicans. I'm glad that change is coming. Okay, so there's a silver lining there.
It's getting better.
That is a sign that we are moving to the right direction. Okay, yeah, it's not just those Mexicans; it's those illegal migrants. So we're not just singling it out anymore. There are still some holdbacks. So y'all folks catch up. And let's go ahead and dispel the myth a little bit about which particular administration is tougher on immigration and illegal migrants than the other. Trump doesn't win.
No, Biden sucks too.
Trump did not deport the most. Trump was not tougher on illegal migrants. He was not the best at any fucking thing.
No, he spent way too much time thinking about filling the river.
Still gets the deporter-in-chief title.
Yeah, I think so too.
And Biden's actually considering orders to make seeking asylum tougher than it is now.
I feel like a lot of big deal when Biden's doing that is he's trying to keep Trump out of the White House, right?
He's trying to pull every optic.
If he can make the right wingers see that he's being mean to migrants,
yes,
then that will.
He's playing the political handbook right now. He can't do anything that's going to turn half the fucking nation against him automatically. I get it from his perspective, and he's going to go a little tougher.
The stakes have never been higher, right?
I get that possibility. I'm hoping that's what that is now. I'm going to open up with saying that this has been a journey for me from the beginning. I started this perspective with the fact that, hey, we've got legal ports of entry. We've got legal avenues for people to come in. Why the fuck aren't they doing it that way? I've since discovered that we don't have proper lines for people to get into this country. And the lines that do exist are choke points that don't fucking move. So when I realized that, you had to dig deeper, and then you realized why these people are coming in droves and why they want to come here, and why we should be considering allowing these people or limiting these people, whichever side of the fence you're on, which gets into other parts of the nation's balance, like population control, the age of the population, the workforce density, the unemployment rates. I mean, you can see where all this starts to spiral out of control. You cannot just look at one part of it. And when I look at the bigger picture, like everyone really should, I would hope that it's going to open your eyes the way it has mine. That we really need to focus more on the humanitarian side of this than we need to focus on the numbers. We have 800,000 people applied for asylum. We granted, 26,000, I think was the number. 20-some thousand, doesn't have to be exact, it's just a pitiful number.
Yeah, it was yeah. Like less than 10%. I feel like.
So just on the requirements for asylum are apparently a little too stringent.
And stringent and like with the political opinion or a social group, like John Oliver pointed out with the cartel. If you live in a narco state, speaking out against the fucking cartel is a political opinion.
Now, we had that little bit of discussion before the show. Narco state. We here in the States have a different definition of state than the rest of the fucking world.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So when the definition is used outside of our border, we have to look at it as a narco state being a narco country.
That is, yeah.
Narco nation.
Everywhere else in the world, a
It's
statehood
not
is
like here in the
nationhood.
United States where if we call Florida a narco state and that you could just walk over here to Georgia and you'd be fine.
No, it's a different country.
You're still in the country, just by slightly different, different territory. Now, if you're talking something like Mexico, they've got different territories. You do at that point
have something like a state, kind of like Canada.
freedom to move over a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. There's different definitions there. So folks, make sure that you get that in your head that when you narco state, all you got to do is move. Yeah. No, they're talking about Colombia,
Honduras, parts of Mexico.
It's an entire state. It's an entire country.
Yeah,
Everybody.
where the influence from the cartels has gone all the way to their equivalent of the White House.
So yeah, it's not like they can just cross the street and they're being a different territory and under the same government rule and all that. No, they got a whole nother permission they got to go through to even cross that fucking line, or they got to sneak across that one. And if they get caught there, they get fucking killed, deported, what the fuck ever, put in prison for the rest of their
families get
life,
murdered.
what the hell ever. And then they got to go sneak across another one. Why are they going through all that to get here? Well, because we're the best fucking option they can get to.
Yeah, they cannot make it to Finland. There's
So on that note, if you want to stop them from coming in and turn this country into a shithole, oh wait,
hell yeah, and it's working. It's working. My God, and people will say, well, it's because of them that no, it's not.
because 95% of the ones that actually get asylum or are applying for asylum, and then 10 years later get to the court date, they show up for the fucking court date because they want to stay here. Why? Because they've got a job, they've got a family, they've got friends, they've built a social fucking network here, they've integrated. They're making it shit.
Right? And there's this myth, especially, I heard it more when I was growing up. And it's not entirely a myth, but there's the conception, I should say, that everybody comes over here from Mexico or Guatemala or whatever, works and sends all their paychecks back across the border, which is not how it works. There's a few where they have to pay for like healthcare or living situations, and in a lot of cases, ransom to cartels.
The average immigrant sends 15% of their income back across the border. And they're supposedly living on the lowest wages that we pay our population. They're making a living in that. They're sending 15% of their income back home, but we're crying that we can't afford any fucking thing. That's probably going to be part of another episode.
Yeah.
Is figuring out how in the hell we they can.
I'll say this as a white American, when you work side by side with an immigrant, my God,
You better work your ass off. You ain't gonna have a job.
I couldn't keep up.
I will tell you straight up, if you got a job and a handful of Mexicans or fucking Argentinians come in there and they're doing anything in manufacturing or construction or anything along those lines, you better pick up the fucking pace or you ain't gonna have a job next
Fuck
week.
no, you ain't.
Because why in the hell would they pay you more
To do less.
to do less?
Yeah, and they have this. They have a work ethic that most Americans simply do not. They may claim to, but most Americans simply do not have that work ethic.
There's a job that needs to be done. I need to support my fucking family. I'll do the damn job until I can find a better one. If I can sucker somebody else into paying me money to do an easier job, yay.
Yeah.
But until then, I'm going to do that one.
And then there's this thing of, well, they're taking all our jobs and there's not enough resources. And it's like, well, the thing is, the more people are here, the more houses they need to live in, the more food they buy, the more vehicles are being used.
They're taking our jobs. Okay, I'll refer you to my earlier point. Number one, work harder because they do.
Compete.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is a competition. Life is a competition.
You guys wanted this. Here it is.
If you're not going to be productive, Yeah, I mean, it's your labor. It's the only thing you actually have of value to anybody other than opinions that are just as valuable as everybody else's. Now, your family might value you and your labor a bit more, but it's still about labor, folks. Trust us.
Yeah.
You still want your wife to cook and clean for you. Your wife still wants you to go out there and hunt and kill, or dominate in the fucking financial world, or y'all want to share it and tackle it both the same. But it's all about duties.
Yeah.
And what you expect from each other. It's all about the value of your labor.
Yeah, which is tightly controlled by people other than the laborers. God, that's going to be a whole other fun episode.
That's going to be another one. I think that's voluntarily been given up.
Wait, hold on.
I think we still
I was born into this system. I was born into a social contract that I fundamentally disagree with. However,
that does not stop you from learning how it works and taking advantage of it.
That's called fraud. I learned how it works and took advantage of it, and I spent 28 months in prison. I was more honest than the people I was stealing from.
You tried to take advantage of the other side of the system, and it didn't quite work out. You made a blunder.
Yeah,
that's akin to investing in the wrong business. It went bankrupt. He just went to the other side.
It did really good for a while.
They usually do.
But yeah, and like I said, that to me, the whole concept of they're taking our jobs, we don't have the infrastructure for it. Oh, and there will be jobs.
Why is there a job for them to take? Maybe because your lazy ass ain't in it.
Maybe because we need more labor.
That could be very well because you want more shit.
Yeah. You got an entire generation that, they came in there and told every one of us how imperative it was we go to college. Right? That we'll make so much more money going to college. It's not true, but that's what they fucking told us, right? So you have now an entire generation of people.
It depends on what you went to college
who thought that they would just go to college, get decent desk jobs, and now they're in more debt than has ever been seen.
Winding up working at McDonald's.
Winding up working at fucking McDonald's, yeah.
Still can't get my fucking order right.
Still cannot get it right. God damn. Yeah. And I was at the McDonald's here in Durham, the one up the road here. Dude, I won't even DoorDash around here. I will go to North Durham up downtown, or I will take my ass to downtown Raleigh. But push and dash here? No. Because I'm not going to that goddamn McDonald's after sunset. It sucks. I've sat there sometimes for an hour and a half. I was being paid by the hour, so I did it. But goddamn.
Talking about the one at the Shell station?
No, the one down here by the CVS.
Oh yeah, that one does suck.
God, man, it's horrible.
So the one over there at the Shell station, you can just walk up to the window no matter how long the line is.
It was so.
In most of them, you can actually do that. By the way, Dashers, yeah, you can do that on most of the drive-through restaurants. If you're a Dasher, you can drive around to the parking thing and walk up to the window and let them know.
I've done that a few times. They're like, "Oh, you drive through only." It's drive through only. It's like I'm not getting back in my car. Tap, tap, tap. I've scared a couple of people at the Wendy's in Raleigh. Now they're used to when there's a tap, tap, look up, there's a phone. You don't need to see me, but look at that.
But and just to let you know, me and my family, we actually do make a living off the DoorDash stuff. So making a living on the lower wages, is actually possible in this country.
It is.
Which is going to be part of another future episode. By the way, leave your comments on wages and the cost of living in this country. That is definitely going to be a topic that's coming up, and I want y'all's got folks' opinion on it. What do you weigh in on that? So give us some stuff to actually react to instead of just coming up here and talking our bullshit to you.
Yeah. So yeah, the infrastructure and the jobs they say they're taking, and the infrastructure they say we don't have. Well, if we built more infrastructure, we'd need people to build that infrastructure. And, that kind of fits that, right?
Our population is getting older. It's aging out. And, the participation rate is dropping.
Yeah, look at me. I dropped out the best I could.
Population is declining. Our birth rate is declining. So we're not replacing the aging out workers. Where are we going to get these workers to build your shit from?
Somewhere.
The only other option is, we got two options here, folks. We import them from other places. That's called immigration, by the way. Or
maybe we should
force
scale back.
initiatives.
Maybe we should scale back. God, there's so much.
Oh wait,
stuff back
there's another option. We could make the economy better to where people can afford to have more kids on their own.
So first off, I don't think we should use the term importing when referring to people. In the United States, we have a bad history of importing a labor force. Did I cut onto it immediately? I'm like, oh God. we have kind of a
sitting over here hoping that didn't go to waste.
no. You cannot import people. They have to be exported.
Deportation
To us. Once you start importing people and you put them on a list of national imports, it starts to look kind of bad. Like a road we've been down.
Now, if you put any kind of selection onto any kind of migration, you are now importing because you are deciding what you want.
And of sorts.
You are deciding what you want. You're limiting what you want. You're only taking what you are importing. You're choosing what comes in. That's import.
No, which brings us to like we were talking about, like what we saw on the thing we were watching.
Oh yeah,
Ukraine. They don't go through anywhere near the amount of hassle that people are going through at the southern border.
Well, that would be the refugee versus asylum versus just walking in and trying to immigrate. And you just basic immigrant. I haven't even looked to see how hard that is. I haven't gotten that deep into this yet, which is how deep this shit actually goes. The actual, hey, I just want to go live there. Without some kind of special visa or, something. I don't even want to know how hard that is. Because of all the emergency shit that we have. The asylum and the refugee shit is just so much fucking, hoop and tangles, and we got to have room for them, right? Because that's the important shit. That is the actual humanitarian part, which is why I'm kind of concerned on our numbers there. We got rookie numbers. We're supposed to be leading the world, and we're not. But where was I? Yeah, the humanitarian crisis versus refugee. Yeah, I can see why we would get more Ukrainians now, and we had more of the Muslim population that we weren't bombing into submission back during the 2006 era and stuff like that. And I can see why we would be prioritizing refugees and asylums over any other forms of immigration. But we have people running away from, rape, torture, murder, slavery.
Yeah, imprisonment.
Just because they have a difference of opinion, or because they just happen to be living in a place that somebody took over.
Yeah, or accidents of birth and shit like that. Like they're it's race and like you said that. Yeah,
it's ridiculous there, and we have the capability to solve both issues, but we're arguing over the why and the how. Mainly the why, which is strange.
Well, I do get that because that was a big part of my looking into. It was like, what as a person living here, it's hard to see. It's like, what is so fucking great about this? I want to leave, right? I myself want to find a better place. Which, that might just be part of the human condition thing there.
We always want better.
Yeah, right. We always want something better. But why is it that this place is so much better, even with all the bullshit going on, than it is there? And it seems like the solution to that is just, you're right, guys, let's make this place the new Venezuela. That seems to be what's happening, Like, I think South Park did that whole episode about all the illegal immigrants going back the other way.
It won't be. Hell, Californians are already starting to Mexico.
Yeah, already.
Yeah. And now there's two sides of the coin to that, and two sides of a window you can see through anyway, is that some people are going to say that that's because all the illegal immigrants are coming in there and ruining California. Or it could be that the political landscape of it's becoming an absolute shitstorm and people aren't tolerating it anymore.
Or it's just like, or they do like kind of what I do, and they look at some of these things like, it's the same. Like, I could get killed in gang violence in LA, or I can get killed by gang violence in Tijuana. You know, like it's...
Which brings up the crime part of people's opposition to it. That hey, not only are they taking their jobs, but they're criminals and shit.
Some of them, sure,
we're criminals here.
Yeah, that's
when they start shooting up schools and churches. All right, I'll start being concerned more about them than I am my own.
Yeah, but it seems to be mostly Americans doing that stupid shit, right?
But as long as they're just doing the same shit we fucking do, and they ain't even beating us at that yet, I ain't worried about it.
Yeah,
until they start beating us, I'm not concerned.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. Boy, this is going to be a shorter episode than I thought.
We've really got to try to, at least I'm going to try to use this as a thing to try to change other people's minds on it, as my mind was changed on this. I was seriously on the side of these people we need to put them back in line, get in the fucking line, they need to do it the right way.
Until you start trying to find where that line was.
Yeah, until I went to finding where the line was and exact numbers of what the hell's going on now, which also brings up the numbers, okay, the crime thing, that's a moot fucking point. We fuck shit up ourselves. They can't beat us in the crime wave yet, so that's a non-concern. Until we fix ourselves and make it where they're worse than us, I got no concern there. They're coming over here taking our jobs. You do your job better, they won't take it. That's an easy solution to fix.
And there will be more jobs because there are more people.
There are more people.
Yeah.
We need more stuff, so we need to make more stuff. We need more food. We need to grow more food.
It seems great for capitalism.
The more people come over, the more jobs create themselves there. It's a self-fulfilling engine. The numbers and resources stuff. Okay, now that's a concern. Because when I looked at a video that was showing the number of illegals in the undocumented, whichever term you want to use, they all mean the same thing. It's people that aren't here and on the books.
Yeah, I prefer undocumented, but yeah, I get what illegals and they're talking about the same people, just from different.
And the important person is the people there that are not counted by the system. That's the important part. So the undocumented is really more important than illegal or whatever. And the only thing that they point out about the drain on the resources is the drain on the school systems. Is the fact that you get 100,000 migrants in New York that aren't on the docket, and then they start having babies, or they bring babies with them, and then all of a sudden the school population jumps up by 15 grand.
Sure did. I remember in the mid '90s in Johnson County. Well, once
5 years ago they were planning out building the school systems. 5 years ago on projections and numbers that I'm pretty sure we've got top people working on this stuff. Getting the data and the numbers and all that. We got top people working on that shit. Now, where that data goes is into the hands of some incompetent people.
Yeah, people who make decisions based not on that.
Right.
Yeah.
So our data is good. It's the use of the data that's flawed. But we build these projections on what we're going to do, how much stuff we got to get into our towns and our cities, what we're going to build, a whole infrastructure on like 5-10 year projections on population growth. And then all of a sudden, here comes a migrant wave. That fucks everything up. We ain't ready for it because we didn't plan for it. Can we deal with it? I don't see why we couldn't. Yeah, okay, we're hitting the face with a problem. Motherfucker, we built the interstate system in a couple of years.
Right. I know.
We built a road through Alaska in less than a decade.
Yeah.
To tell me that we can't deal with the system,
We already have done it.
America, air quotes, America we're talking about, that has done all the things that said that we couldn't fucking do before.
Yeah, that's why I look at like FDR and his the New Deal and all that, and the major infrastructure projects. He put everybody to work building America's infrastructure. There is enough infrastructure that needs to be built right now,
So now we got all these people here. We can start putting into work, and we're getting infrastructure. We are. I mean, that is actually coming to fruition now. The big grants from both Trump and Biden have definitely broadened our expansion and repair of our networks and all that good shit. The infrastructure is getting some repair, not enough, but it's getting there. And we can definitely lose an F-22 or two for that.
For fuck's sake, right? All the money we spend on bombs, and here we are bitching about school budgets.
Right. And amidst all this, we still have politicians, voting for pay raises. Mm-hmm. Not only that, funding studies to see if they can deserve the right to vote for a pay raise.
And then ignoring.
You could have just gave yourself the pay raise with the money they put in.
But now they've given themselves the pay raise and wasted money on a fucking study that they ignore.
And not a bit of that fucking money is going to the southern border to expand the fucking detention centers and, to give them food and water, to help them find jobs.
You know what is going to the southern border? A bunch of fucking redneck truckers.
You know what else is going to the border in waves?
Mm-hmm.
National Guards.
Overcomplicating the problem.
What is it? 7 states now have sent their fucking National Guard to get to Texas to go help them out. For what? For what? To tell them, no, you can't cross here. You have to go 5 miles down there to the legal port of entry, or you have to go 5 miles down that way to the illegal port of entry where you get a criminal charge. And then
here's the thing: if they have already crossed the midway point, you cannot stop them.
No, they have to actually get on soil.
Hold on.
The water doesn't count. They have to get on soil. The water doesn't count.
Let me check that.
The navigable waterway counts as basically a neutral territory as both Mexico and America. Goddamn. They are not on U.S. soil until they actually touch soil.
Well, if they're standing.
They are standing in the water. We now have razor wire on the bank.
Yeah, that's helpful too, right?
And yeah, let's make them walk another fucking 5 miles in the fucking river. Because you're worried about them drowning. That's the reason we put the buoys out there. Because they're drowning. So, I mean, if you're worried about them, just stop making them come across the fucking river.
What is going on here? In Florida? Ohio? Can they stop? It's just... Yeah.
I'm going to have a better way of searching this. I wish I was, suave enough to actually speak to my phone.
Right. And this is... there was something I heard about it. If they've crossed that halfway point, like you can't do anything to like stop them there. Like if they're on your side of the river and they're drowning, the border patrol or officer or whatever has to make an assessment as to whether they are in danger, and then they're required to help them.
Yeah, of course. If there's a danger there, absolutely.
Right. And I would argue that if your feet are on the ground, you are on the soil.
Well, there's parts of that river you can walk all the way across. Where are you on
it? The river. Well, maybe we shouldn't make borderlines fucking natural things that move around.
That's why I think part of the treaty that the waterway is a navigable waterway that is on.
Say something happens.
It doesn't belong to.
What happens if it dries up?
I think that I'm not sure if they would use the same definition in the treaty there as they would for like navigable waterways here, that it's the bank line, not the actual water line, because waterways fluctuate, so it would be where the natural bank line would be.
And then there's a lot of the border is like private rancher territory and shit, like what do you tell somebody to do about their own private land? Should there be private land at the border? That's another thing.
Well, that brings up one of my old solutions that I put out there on the radio waves instead of keeping it to my damn self, because I'm never going to get the money for it, nor the funding, because I'm too lazy to start a foundation. is, instead of detention centers down on the border, if we're overcrowding them, and we've got all these people down there that are trying to come over here and get jobs and enter the workforce and stuff, and we're crying about jobs. How about we build a new city?
Well, my thing is, I agree with you on the concept, right? Of having a city that they can come to while they're waiting, right? A city they can come live in if they need to. But I don't think it's big enough, right? I that's why, and I say partially because I do despise this Texas, but also at the same time, we could turn the entirety of Texas into a kind of like the D into buffer zone.
It wouldn't be a permanent thing, though. It would be a temporary. Everybody living there will be there on temporary.
Sure. Okay.
There would be no. Well, I imagine it would evolve into something that would become.
It would have to be something larger.
Because eventually, the way I would see this working is something along that size of a project would require us working with Mexico. It would be a joint project between the two nations. I would hope that the southern nations farther south that are also facing this migrant crisis, people walking through their nations, would also help in this endeavor to give these people a place to go so they don't stay there. If nothing else, let's use that as motivation. You don't want these people? You don't like these people for whatever fucking reason? Fine. Help me get them through your country and here.
Yeah.
Okay, can we at least do that? I hate what you're doing, but can we at least do that? You don't want them. Help me get them out of your way. Help me get them out of your hair. We're good. We can build this big giant buffer zone right there on our border and put the other side on their border with Mexico. And anybody coming through has a place there that they can start participating in the workforce, building this city. It can start in one place and it can grow all the way across the freaking border if it wants to. But as a culture, it would be a culture buffer as well. They would start learning the culture from the other side, as well as with people that come down there to temporarily help build. If they want to go the other way or they just want to come help build, okay, we'll give you temporary housing while you're helping build here. And they'll learn the culture from the other side.
It's a much more humanitarian system than what's currently working.
And then you got,
or not working.
Currently 30,000 people sitting there in Texas. Imagine if fucking 50,000 people got together to build a town. How fast would it get done?
Yeah, you got all these people trying to keep people out. It's like, why?
So, I mean, it can get done. Yeah. You got the workforce right there. Every single one of those fucking people is willing to pick up a shovel, a fucking rake, a hammer, whatever the fuck you need them to do to get in here. I guarantee you, every fucking one of them would do anything you ask them to do to get across that border.
Yeah.
Every fucking one of them.
At least the majority, right?
No, every goddamn one of them. Even the fucking criminals, bro. They would whatever the fuck you need me to do. You need me to fucking build a wall from right quick? Fucking, okay. Do a week's worth of labor to get in here and you ain't gonna fucking arrest me with my fucking pound of goddamn fentanyl? Whatever. Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I agree that would be a good solution, having some sort of like open buffer zone where you can get to and be safe and get medical care, get housing and be put in the process. But also we need to like work on the process, right?
Yes.
It's taking so long.
Yes. You're also in this city building little mini processing centers. So every zip code that you build in there has a fucking process center and a legal center for everybody in this particular zip code to be able to go through.
Yeah, it's just like when you go to prison.
Yeah.
And I mean, sure,
we have the system.
Yeah,
we just need to apply it elsewhere.
You go to prison, you get all your medical care there. You get all everything's one place, or they will
get your documentation. You get your transportation. You get your job. You get your housing. You get your food.
Yeah, I mean, and while they're waiting, if we cannot speed up the process of letting people in, then, or for whatever reason, it's so scary that they're coming in the first place, give them somewhere to go because they're just going to keep coming through like they are.
Well, that would be the thing. You come here to this side of the border, south side of the border. You make your applications. You start working and participating. Once you work and participate and we see, hey, your paperwork checks out. Now you're on this side. But we have joint with Mexico here to maintain this as a safe zone. No cartels are going to come over here because even America has the right to defend this side, and Mexico has the right to come over here and defend them. We're working together.
Yeah, it's like a demilitarized zone-ish.
Or a full militarized zone against anybody else. Whichever way you want to go about that. It doesn't matter as long as these people are protected. And they have something to do, which will get them prepared for the life on this side while they're waiting for all the legal shit. So then it doesn't matter if it takes 10 fucking years, but let's try to work on that too. And a safe place to be.
There's no lack of space either. You know what I'm saying?
They're making an income. You know, they're being productive. They're seeing for their family. Their family can come up here with no fucking hassles, no paperwork necessary.
Yeah.
So that solves that whole thing of the whole chain migration. Fuck you, asshole.
Well, of course, I'm not going to, if I move, that's part
Then it doesn't matter if it's a cousin or a fucking nephew or what the fuck ever, twice fucking removed. Who gives a shit? They're on that side of the fucking border. They're working. What the hell ever.
If I'm able to immigrate to Norway, I'm not going to leave my kids behind in this hellscape, right?
But when you get to Norway, it would be wonderful if they had some place for you to say, welcome to Norway. Would you like a place to stay? Would you like a job?
Yes. Thank you. That would be wonderful. You know, can I get 24-hour passes to look around your beautiful country? Sure. Would I be willing to wear some sort of monitor or carry my goddamn
That's what I'm
phone?
going to say. Okay, these visas. Okay, we can solve that fucking problem too for people overstaying their visas. I was getting ready to go to the exact same fucking place.
Yeah, because we have to talk about overstaying, because that is a much larger point of entry. That a wall does nothing to stop. That airplane just goes right the fuck over.
And we have the technology to stop that one and nip it in the bud, end it right fucking now. Just do we treat them like we would a probationary criminal?
Well, they're probationary citizens.
They are.
Do I believe they need to be subject to drug tests
We
and shit? No.
will not put criminals to work to pay off their debt to society.
No, in fact, we make it harder.
Treat somebody that is working as we would.
No, because our
system mindset we have to overcome to do something like that.
So much has to be drastically changed.
And by the way, Toad, we're talking about tagging these folks so we can keep track of them, like cattle.
Yeah, I know, but it quells an argument.
Yes,
well, what if they get out? What if they let them out?
That's what I'm saying. Some quote unquote evils are necessary to eliminate the greater evil that will come of that if you see it that way. And
give them a fucking phone.
It's too easy though.
Well, then
then you know it's gone, and you know the last place to go look for them anyway. So yeah, it's at least something.
Right.
I mean, any step in the right direction is a step in the right.
But most people, once they have a home, some sort of stability, they're not living in a fucking gulag. Once they have some sort of home and stability, they're going to be much more willing to just come back. It ain't like they're escaping something; they're just going home. You know what I mean? So
our current policy, is you show up to American soil, which doesn't necessarily have to mean you cross the border here. American embassies are U.S. American soil, but unfortunately, we don't have embassies in every country. So most of them still have to come here. But then you have to pass a initial interview.
Mm-hmm.
If they see you and you talk to a customs border, which, by the way, folks, most of these people that are illegals crossing our border, they cross our border, sit down and wait for a border patrol agent to come to them.
It is the quickest
or they're
way
going to the place where the border patrol agents have a spot set up waiting for them.
It is the quickest way to get in and get processed.
Right. Now, another point will come up in just a minute about that particular subject. But they come to American soil. They have to ask for asylum. Then they get an initial interview, a few handful of questions to see if you even are qualifying, to see if we can weed out the bullshit or stuff like that. Okay. If you pass that little tiny test, then you are granted temporary access to go and file your paperwork. You file that paperwork. Somebody look over that and give you another interview, and if you pass that, you're granted temporary access and given a court date.
Yeah.
And told to go on your fucking way.
And this isn't all one day.
No, it's not all.
This is over a
Now,
extended
if
period
you're
of time.
at the detention center, you're at the detention center until you're handed your court date. That can take a few weeks to a couple of months. Now, the court date can take a few years to a decade or so.
Yeah, there are 2 million cases backlogged.
So we're not going to focus heavily on the court part of it because you're already in the country at that point. Now, are you in the detention center or are you freely roaming around? That's the different part. That's probably why a lot of people have chosen to come through the other way. But once you're in here and you get that paperwork and here's your court date. What do you do then? You've got no job. You've got fucking shit. You ain't doing nothing for them. So my question to my Americans out here is, where is the agency that's sitting down there gathering these folks and asking, what their skills are, and, getting a database of potential workers for these companies that, are hiring, and, giving these people that are coming across a job the day they come across? Where's that?
Yeah, and why isn't it the way we do it?
And I'm asking the bleeding hearts that are saying we shouldn't have borders, blah, 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 all that guy. I'm asking that side of the crowd there. Now, I'm not faulting you for your views or nothing. I'm just asking, that side of the crowd, where are the people on your side that are down there starting the job force, the workforce program for these people?
Those there have been and still are like little independent nonprofits and shit that go down there and try shit, but they're so outnumbered, you know what I mean? And there's so many, they like funding gets cut and all, they do all kinds of underhanded shit to keep it from really succeding. It was like the early days of the civil rights movement. You know what I mean?
A temp service, a workforce program for these people should be it should self-fund itself.
You would think.
Temporary services do. I'm talking about the temporary service for migrants, specifically for the migrants coming across the border. As soon as they get their paperwork processed and say, yes, you're approved for fucking to get your trial for temporary status, you're good. Right then, here's your counsel to go get a job.
They should absolutely do that. But Homeland Security and fucking Border Patrol, no.
Homeland Security and Border Patrol ain't got jack shit to do with that.
Yeah, well, they're not. If you go down there and they fill out they do their asylum paperwork, and you're going down there like, hey, look, I can give you a job. They're not going to let that person just leave to go with you. You know what I'm saying?
They do.
Where?
That border crossing that Elon Musk was at a couple of months ago, his famous video, dude. Did you not see the fucking...
I didn't even know he went down there.
Okay.
Last I knew, he was hobnobbing somewhere else.
Okay, he's got a video that got a lot of attention. But it's not the only one, and it's not the only place. These migrants will come to the fence, and like I said earlier, they're told to either go to the legal port of entry or walk down here to the illegal port of entry. They get to the illegal port of entry where the fence ends. Okay? There's a Border Patrol agent waiting for them. A handful of them. Because these people are coming in by the hundreds. Yeah. It's hundreds a day, every day, 7 days a week.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot.
They're grouped together. They're told before they come out of the water, stop before you come out. If you step foot on their soil, you will be charged with a criminal trespass and then processed for whatever questions you might have.
Isn't that what they do?
That is exactly what they do. They all walk on shore. They are charged with criminal trespass, given a court date for that criminal trespass, and then ask if they want asylum. That's fucked up.
Well, you got to get that court money in there.
So then once they get all that, they process them, and then they'll put them on a bus to wherever that bus is going.
Yeah.
Why isn't there a fucking counselor at that fucking bus? Why is there a counselor at the other end of the fucking bus?
They even do that in prison. You go see your social worker.
Right. Or they'll say, no, we got it. And they'll walk off and they'll go to where the train tracks, where the train slows down for a curve. Somebody will hop on the damn train, cut the brakes on the back cars, forcing the train to stop so everybody can get on the fucking train.
I mean, when you look at it from their perspective, they're looking at their chances for success, right?
Okay, I'm not faulting that part. The part of it I'm faulting is that before they get on that fucking train, before they get on that bus, Where that processing center is, we need manpower to be sitting there. Hey, I've got a lot of employers looking for people with your skills.
Yeah, we're so understaffed with it, right?
Exactly.
You know, that's another big
where's that?
problem.
That's what. Where the fuck is that?
We can send National Guard down there, but not employees.
Because the biggest problem I see with this immigration thing is they're coming over here. They don't have a job. Not that they're stealing our jobs. They don't have a job. They don't have a place to stay. Unless they happen to have family over here. Now, okay, they're in Texas. Now they got
Generally, they have some sort of point of contact.
Okay,
yeah.
But they're in Texas. They got to get to New Jersey. Mm-hmm. What are they going to do until then?
Whatever they can, man.
Exactly.
It's rough.
There's another program that needs to be opened down there. I don't see happening. All these people can be. We got problems here. We got problems here. Collectively, we got the fucking money. We've got the people. We've got the drive to do it. Why aren't we doing it? I can't be the only people thinking like this.
There has to be roadblocks to it, right? There has to be roadblocks in the way of doing that.
Dude, if we can send fucking money to goddamn to Cuba for fucking humanitarian shit.
I agree. We should. I agree. I'm not saying we shouldn't. I'm just saying it's fucked up that we don't.
There can't be too big of a roadblock if we can send shit to Cuba.
Well, that's sending money, not sending people, right?
We're getting people out of Cuba. We're giving them jobs.
It would be a wonderful job opportunity.
Not saying it's, easier, too big, but I mean,
you couldn't pay me
from Cuba to Miami. You got family there.
Part of it, like if the southern border with Mexico,
I know that was a signal,
was down at South Carolina, I would be more inclined to go help. But I hate Texas.
we are fucking two poor white trash fucking individuals way the hell up here, half the fucking world away from that.
We're a blip above them in the scale.
I've got no chance of making anything happen. If y'all folks want to start sending us a bunch of fucking money, I'll go make something fucking.
Oh yeah, dude!
I'll give you my word on that. If I wake up the next week and there's fucking $1 million in our fucking account, I will definitely go fucking do something. You got my fucking word on it.
Oh yeah, philanthropy like a fucking boss. and that's
now I'm gonna be a capitalist about it. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna make some motherfucking money out of this.
Me, however, and as far as like you said with the bleeding hearts and the not, there shouldn't be borders. Well, I do have that viewpoint, right? I do think that when you look at the big picture shit, the Andromeda Galaxy on a collision course, the sun dying, the universe dying in a heat death, arbitrary lines are fucking that we have made up. There is as much value as we put into it, just like gold, right? It's inherently worthless.
I know it's an invisible line, and it should be more arbitrary than it is. However, it is a cultural boundary, and definitely a boundary of law.
I mean,
the line in the soil is not the cultural.
I don't know.
It is where the buffer zone of it is. Yes, people in Texas are a hell of a lot more Mexican than people up in Montana are.
Sure.
And people in Tijuana are a hell of a lot more American than people down in Panama.
Well, actually, that's not accurate at all. There's more Americans in Panama. There's more Americans in Panama than there is Mexicans in Tijuana.
The culture there, which in Tijuana is way more American than anywhere south of the border.
I'll give you that.
So that's
Tijuana
that's kind of why I use that as
TJ is the most American Mexican.
That's kind of why I use that as the point of reference there. Up here I could use any state north of Texas.
But then again,
I've got 47 more fucking choices.
Look at the cultural differences between, say, people here in Durham versus people where you live, down in Moore County, right?
Which is why we have borders that are cities.
But we can go back and forth. It doesn't hurt anything.
Has its own little tiny bits of laws that are slightly different than your typical.
That's absolutely stupid.
It's not. We have a different group of people that living down there.
There should only be a few laws and they should be universally agreed upon. again, like I said, I am an anarchist who believes all borders should be erased and everything brought into a single system of cooperation.
True. But just as a wild part, because I do have an aging population down there, and I want to generalize it as a large one. If you had an entire state of, let's say, I don't know, Florida. Okay, older. Okay, just using it as an older population. I'm pretty sure that on a whole, they dislike loud music and the party vibe, even though that's where all the college kids go to party once a year. But on a whole, I'd imagine that they would prefer to have a quieter.
Right. Well, right? Florida is a place where culture and law.
I'm just talking about as a people of things.
Yeah,
not necessarily the borders. Not the,
no. I was talking about the culture.
I just use it because there's a lot of aging population. Everybody goes to retire. It's got to be an older population. It can be just a population of older folks wherever you want to put them.
In fact, their hard right fucking their red stateness kind of shows.
The idea is that that particular group of people are going to want something different than this particular group of people. And that is evident in our townships, even in our neighborhoods. One homeowners association's got different rules than the other homeowners association. Yeah, I hate homeowners associations, but it still proves the example that this group of people want something different than this group of people. So on a local level, you have to do that. On a national level, it's a lot larger than that. Yeah, you take that a whole average on a whole, and you try to find out what kind of an identity you're going to have there, and that's where your border gets drawn. Is where the ideals change, where the languages change, where the idea of what a family is change.
See, I disagree when it comes to America's borders. Most of them were like backroom deals and war wins. Had nothing to do with culture. It had to do with who won the war and who drew the line.
Well, that's where the lines get drawn to expand to, and then you fill those lines out with your culture.
And I don't think that's how it works, man. I don't think. I mean, even with your example of Florida,
that has to be. If you walk out of this room, you and your culture, your influence, and what you decide are happening in this room. You walk into the next room, somebody else is in that room doing whatever the fuck they want to do. It ain't got nothing to do with what you're doing.
Entirely accurate.
You walk into that room, all of a sudden, if you don't want to do what they're doing, you've got choices. You both can't do the same thing at the same time because it interferes. Let's put that clause in there. So you got some choices. Either you tolerate what they're doing, they change what they're doing to tolerate what you're doing, or you find something else to do.
Okay, I can see your point there.
Your culture, what you want to do, is not going to work with what they want to do.
But both cultures can agree.
They can agree
that
on
rape, murder, theft, these things are wrong, right?
Yes.
The harm principle.
But no matter what generalization and universal rules you're going to have, there's always going to be something that's going to separate us, and that is the culture.
But that's something that's always been inherent.
And that's where a border is always going to be.
But
no matter if it's a line on a map or whatever.
Cultures will merge. Cultures change. They evolve. They assimilate.
They do.
And
borders change.
If we draw these borders, keeping this culture, kind of segregated to itself, because it's different than our culture, then that stagnates.
And eventually somebody will come up with a culture that everybody wants to be a part of, and the borders will change to the point where there's no border.
I mean, maybe
America tried, got close.
Yeah, well, I think we stagnated. Something's gone wrong, because the school shootings.
Let's say we were at least an example to the rest of the world
at one time. Pre-Vietnam.
I said were, not are.
Pre-Vietnam.
We were an example to the rest of the world that got the rest of the world to start looking at for better ways to crawl out of the cesspool that they had for millennia before we became a thing. They showed that civilization declines. We showed that you can rebuild it. So other people start to rebuild it. So I can at least say that much for America. We did kickstart the rest of the world into something better. Unfortunately, we haven't continued with that.
No, absolutely. Like I said, we lost the moral high ground, I would say, somewhere around Dealey Plaza. You can actually see the moral high ground splatter onto the back of the limousine on the Zapruder film. You can actually watch America die right there.
But as far as the humanitarian thing, man, we've got resources. We can feed everybody. We can feed everybody in the fucking world.
We could. Easily. In fact, if the entire world collectivized and put their fucking resources together and stop worrying about the monetary value of a bottle of fucking water, then there's plenty of resources to go around.
It ain't even that, bro. The biggest thing, they say the biggest thing about feeding people, and the reason I'm bringing up food for it is because that is the global thing. That is the global thing that everybody worries about.
Food and water.
There's not enough food here. Motherfucker, the United States can grow enough and produce enough fucking food to feed the entire population 3 times over. 3 fucking times over. We throw away more food than the entire fucking world eats because it doesn't look good.
Fuck yeah, we do.
Crooked carrot? Oh, hell no. We ain't eating no fucking crooked
pieces of bacon that were trimmed off to make all the pieces look the same length.
A fucking tomato with a spot? What? Yeah. No. We throw that shit away. We can't export it. What? No, we can't export it. What do you mean we can't export it? We can put boots on the ground any fucking where in the world.
Everywhere else,
we can't put a tomato there
because they have more stringent rules about the food they allow their people to eat. In some cases, Now, not in like third world countries, but there's.
I'm just talking about the basic fruits, vegetables, and natural food. What the fuck ever there? The stuff that we should be able to move around the world without big issues, right? The United States can put boots on the fucking ground in a military fashion within 72 hours.
Tomatoes.
Anywhere in the world, but we can't get a tomato there.
Yeah.
What? Transportation is our problem with feeding the fucking world?
I disagree. It can't be. Again, to me, the problem, like almost every problem in the world, in my eyes, comes back to the fact of capital.
And to say that we can't feed the people that are coming across the southern, that's an easy task.
Yeah,
we're already growing the food there.
Yeah, you can.
So it ain't food. Resources. What other resources have we got that we really, really need? Oil? Of course. Yeah, I don't think we've got enough fucking oil. We're taking it from every fucking body.
Yeah, and we're trying to get away from it in some, slowly but surely.
Yeah, hopefully we do. That'll be another one for fucking,
That'll be on the final.
Electric. The move to electric.
Yeah.
That's definitely going to be another one. Yeah. Anybody fighting electric, oh my God.
Like, well, there's not enough. No, there used to not be enough gas stations when cars first started coming around. But the more cars were around, the more gas stations.
Maybe if we get some more immigrants in here, we can upgrade our power grid.
Maybe if we have more immigrants in here, we could do what fucking Sweden did. Which, when I told you that idea before I saw that article, I had no idea that Sweden had built the F-Zero fucking charging lanes. Like a week later, I see that and I'm like, oh shit, Sweden did it. Look at that.
Yeah, it's expensive, but it's
expensive, but it's fucking worth it. It's called investment, right? It's investment in your future.
I mean,
We're looking at short-term gains.
Q charging for cars? Why the fuck not?
Yeah. Short-term gains, get rid of them. We have to start looking at the big picture, and that's important with immigration and everything.
Which brings me back to circle back to we've got top people working on those numbers, which is where I have to admit that we're definitely not experts, and probably haven't even researched this deep enough to even know where those numbers lie about what resources we actually do have, where we can get them to, how fast we can get them to, and all that stuff. It's just, like I said, it's amazing we can put
boots on the ground, any fucking where.
But we have problems moving food around.
People are eating 3 meals a day in Antarctica. So don't tell me that you can't do it. The only roadblock has to be monetary. I can't see any other roadblock to that than people being like, yeah, but how am I going to get my money for it? How are they going to? Those starving children, they didn't work for that food. Like, come on.
And, I'm kind of hoping maybe Elon Musk listened to this with my little city idea. He can build a spaceport down there in a few fucking years. I mean, he can start a township down there, start making some fucking money off of that. You're going to have people coming into work. You're going to have supplies, goods and services coming in. You got to have people come. Economy's going to happen. And you'll be able to, you're going to own all the fucking shit. You build fucking houses on it. You're fucking collecting rent because you gave these people jobs. So you give them a place to stay. You're going to be able to collect rent on the back end. Plan, bro. I'm telling you, dude.
If Elon Musk would use his vast resources, connections, and wealth to feed the hungry, I would forgive him of everything I hate him for. Well, of course, I'd say the same about Bezos too. You have these massive
question on that. Would you have a difference of opinion if he did it as a donated charity thing, or if he did it as a low-cost business model.
What do you mean by a low-cost business model?
Like if I can get shit, imported over here, all right, this is what, okay, let's take my plan a little bit deeper down. I'm going to have these people that are already there to start building homes and building the stores and stuff there, right? Well, I've got to start paying them stuff. Well, how am I going to get the money to pay them stuff? Well, the first thing I got to do is get stuff down there and get them some money. And there has to be something for them to both do and to buy. Else it's going to be slavery. So you put the investment and you bring goods, right? And you put these people to work. You pay them for the work. You give them the place to stay. You charge them for the place to stay. You have goods, food, clothing. They buy this food and clothing.
At the company store?
No, because it ain't going to be, it's going to be, real money. So you don't have to buy it from here. You can go to the next town and buy it up.
All right. As long as we're doing it that way.
No. We're definitely going to be paying them real money. Well, at least as real as the American dollar can get. But there's profit on both ends of that.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you're
just because I can make a profit doesn't mean I have to rip them off, which is where I would be at. I'm going to make a fucking profit. Sure. I am a capitalist.
Sure.
But I'm not a greedy bastard. So I would be building small homes because it's faster and it takes up less space. So I'd be able to bring more people in. So the quality of living may not be as good as what people would want. Okay. I have to concede that point because I've got a lot of people there. I've got to put into a small space and I've got to do it relatively quickly. So it's going to be tiny homes, tiny apartments.
Sure, and those actually can be really nice.
They can be really nice, and I'm hoping that if I could do it, they would be somewhat nice, and definitely better than a jail cell. Okay,
I'm fucking kids in cages. Yeah.
Okay, we'll circle back to that.
Yeah.
We'll put a pin in that one. We got to come back to that one. But okay, so I'm building a bunch of tiny homes, a bunch of tiny apartment buildings, and convenience stores to put the shopping mall for them to get their thing. That would be the first things to get done. They got to have a place to spend the money. They got to have a place to live. So that's the first things to get built. Is your own home. I'm going to be paying them to build their own fucking homes.
There's nothing wrong. I don't see anything wrong with
it. The only money that's going to be coming in to begin with is the money that they will be paying on the food and the water from the money they're being paid probably daily to build their own fucking homes. Once the homes are built and they're living in it, well, now I can charge them rent.
If you're doing it humanely, right, and you're not building a fucking slum, and you're taking care of the people.
Right.
And then again, like I said, if people make money on, and that's one thing. It's when they're making money to the detriment of humanity.
The difference is I'm not a corporation. I don't have shareholders that I have to pay billions of dollars to. Exactly. All I have to do is do my own existence.
If you're making money,
I can exist on $50,000 a fucking year.
Yeah. If you're making money, that's fine. It's when you're making money to the detriment of humanity.
Exactly.
That's what
I was want to make. So I'm not the greedy motherfucker. I'm the guy that will live off of $50,000 a year, and every other fucking dime that I would get would go to that. That's my salary would be $50,000 a year. Cost of living increases and stuff, of course, maybe, but I'm not the guy that's going to be I wouldn't make $1 million off of this shit.
Yeah.
Anything more, it would be. I would run it more like would be the corporation. I would be a paid employee of the town that's getting built. Okay, that would be my role in this because I wouldn't want to make the millions and millions and millions of dollars. I would want to reincorporate that back into it and invest it into the new people that are coming so that we can build better and more things.
Sounds like socialism.
It's free market capitalism at its true form.
Well, I mean, anything humanitarian, and this is the fucked up part, anything that is humanitarian, that puts people above profit, looks socialist.
The only thing I'm making money off is their labor. And the only ones that are going to be doing it are the ones that say, yeah, this is better than what I fucking have, and I am definitely making progress.
Because
if it's worse than what they are getting, they're going to continue moving on.
Yeah, and like I said, I see no problem there. takes care of the humanitarian
And I'm
problem.
not saying they won't be able to
Yeah.
find better, but it will be a place for them to start, to learn. Yes, this is how trade works here. This is how the economy works here. This is what people are
Honestly,
going
that's
to
what we
expect
should
of you
do.
here.
I feel like that's what we should do for everybody graduating high school. Right? Give them a little home. But then again, I am kind of an anarcho-socialist, right?
Well, that was part of one of my, I don't know, I kind of want to hold off on calling it a manifesto, but I did have a writing of where I would say this is what things should be, and what, but
It only becomes a manifesto when people die.
yeah, we stopped short there because I haven't been in any schools lately.
When you measure in bullets per child rather than kilometers per hour.
Even per caliber. But no, I mean, yes, I admittedly, I would be taking advantage of the situation there. Okay, I don't have to pay these people fucking $30 a fucking hour. They ain't never seen $30 an hour.
No.
And they won't need $30 an hour because the house they're going to be living in isn't going to cost them fucking $1,000 a month.
Shouldn't.
So they will be able to, we would build a little economy there. So, and make sure that it would take a little bit of work. And there's going to be people that are there that aren't going to be able to manage their money and they're going to fall into poverty even in this. Okay. But you try to balance it to where they have some money to be able to save. So that when they do find that better job over here, instead of, being a carpenter or a fucking ditch digger or a fucking pole setter or what the fuck ever that we have here because we're building a new town, I want to go into, manufacturing over here. Okay, well, you've got the means to now.
Yeah.
You've got a place to stay here until you move out there, but now that you're working over there, I'm going to request that you find you a place to live out there to make room.
We can even vet companies, to come in and recruit people. Make sure it's not United Fruit or something
Southern
like that.
manpower, bro. Let's get a temporary service in here saying, hey, these people have these skills. We're watching them work here. They're learning this, that, and the other thing. And now they're learning English even, folks. You remember, hey, they're learning English too. Shut up.
Yeah. For fuck's sake. Every other country in the world speaks multiple languages,
I speak Georgian. I speak Tennessee. I speak Virginia, West Virginian, North Carolinian, South Carolinian.
I can even pull off Boston sometimes. I'm wicked smart.
But that's the logic I use. I mean, motherfuckers over in Europe, your neighbor speaks a different fucking language. That don't happen in here very often unless you come from over there. And then, okay, how often do I speak to
But that puts us at a disadvantage on the world stage.
It does. But they don't have to go through much effort to learn it because it's being spoken next door. We actually have to learn it.
It's like the Tucker Carlson interview with Putin. You notice Putin didn't have a translator.
What earpiece was it?
I think that was a hearing aid, man.
That's an earpiece.
He speaks fucking good English when he wants to.
He still has to tell them what it's saying. And I would imagine even he has a guy that said, no, you can't tell him about that, bro.
He probably actually made the list. These are things I'm not supposed to talk about.
Yeah. Make sure you warn me if any of these subjects come up, bro. I might not be paying attention. I imagine, yeah. But like I said, I would be making money off of that situation if I was the one to go and do it.
Like I said, it's okay
So
to
any
make money.
venture capitalist should be able to go down there, and that's why I was saying I hope Elon Musk is listening to it because he's got the fucking money to do it. Or Bezos, either one of these motherfucking billionaires. You got the fucking money to settle this problem right now.
Yep.
You even have the capital. You wouldn't have to ask nobody else for money to be able to pay them for the fucking 2 weeks it's going to take them to start buying shit out of your stores that you put there.
Hell,
Bezos, you can stock the fucking stores.
I'd even let them unionize.
I don't really give a fuck about unions. One way or the goddamn other. Either fucking way. Okay, either you're ballsy enough to, and you got enough, self-worth to speak for yourself without a union, or you band together and you form a union to speak for you. Either fucking way, I don't care.
I think they're.
I would prefer it if you spoke for yourself.
But
Because I don't.
fired. They made laws to where even if you talk about a union, they can fucking fire you. So
That's what I'm. But if I want to be a union versus non-union, I would rather be non-union, simply because I might be able to negotiate better for me personally than a union that has to represent everybody is going to be able to represent me.
Yeah,
And then there's going to be things I have to do for that union for them to represent me. Certain things I'm going to have to bend my will to their subject.
Right.
I have to go by their will instead. I don't want that. I don't think it actually for my own benefits.
I do believe there needs to be an equalizing force, I feel like, between, you know, well, this is the wages episode.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird how it's so close to each other.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. That was exactly why this episode took so long to be able to come to fruition.
Because there's so much to talk about.
It touches everything.
Yep.
And everything touches it right back.
Yeah.
It's I mean, you can't say it's like a damn priestly relationship because the kid don't touch the back most. I mean,
Woo. And yeah, to me, the biggest crisis of the whole immigration thing and the southern border, to me, the crisis is we're not helping them enough, right? We're not doing enough to fix the
we're
fucking
not
problem.
even putting enough judges in there to handle the caseload.
No.
What was it? 1,500. No, I almost
Yeah,
said
no,
15,000.
no.
I almost put another zero in. Oh my God.
15,000 would be drastically better, but
Yes.
still not enough.
Right. We got 1,500. That's
Yeah.
not just the judges. That's the judges and their support work to handle the caseload for asylum. That's not enough.
And then you look at how
100,000 last year alone. That's not enough fucking people to handle that caseload.
no, man.
How hard would it to get people down there to fucking ask some people some fucking questions? We already have the form. Just get people down there to ask the fucking questions. That's all we got to do to get them through the initial interview. Okay, so they got to wait here 15, 20 fucking years for asylum? Fine, they're here. They're not getting killed, raped, and murdered down where they were. As long as they're here, I don't care how long it
At
takes.
least not at the same rate.
I honestly don't care about how many judges we got. That is a problem that needs to be fixed. It would streamline the whole entire process, but that's the end of the process. They're already here at that point. They're safe. Mostly.
They should be.
Mostly.
Well, you want to talk about the kids in cages? Which it's just really it's a headline, right? It's a
It
bullet,
was an
a
artist,
talking point.
It was an artist.
Yes, absolutely.
It was a kid that was playing in this cage that a photographer took a picture of to make a point. Kids are not being put into fucking dog kennels, okay? That ain't happening under anybody's watch.
Not at the southern United States border. You got to be clear on
I'm
that.
not saying it's not happening under particular gangs or something like that. Yeah, we were let's put that into United States.
Yeah, it's not what it was portrayed as.
Right.
It was,
Now, are they in detention centers that have a fence around it?
yes.
Yes.
Those kids are in a type of cage.
Okay.
But they're not in a dog kennel.
They're not in a dog kennel. Okay, that is not happening. Look at the sex trafficking side of the fence for that, and that can be a whole nother episode.
Well, I mean, actually, immigration and sex trafficking is something that needs to be discussed.
It is part of this. It is another thing that it touches. Again, bringing up the whole damn thing. Now we got the whole security aspect of this fucking conversation. Oh my God. We ain't even touched that yet.
No.
Which is why this, possibly might actually get cut into a two-parter even. We don't know yet, but where were we?
We were talking about kids in cages and moving on to sex trafficking.
Well, we jumped to the sex trafficking. It was the detention centers.
Yeah.
I wanted to stop there for a second. These detention centers, from what I saw, are more like a converted school. Is what it looked like.
To me, they all look kind of like the modern Wake County detention center.
It could look a little bit
They look more like the Wake County
detention
jail.
center. Yeah, if you're a juvenile and you went to a detention center, that would definitely be it. Which is what I would say if you would take a modern middle school or a high school and put a fence around it. It's kind of what you get in there.
And a lot of people might not realize this, but all these detention centers aren't always at the border.
No, they're not.
The one here in Raleigh, Wake County Detention Center, it is a jail / when I was there was a guy who had been in there 3 fucking years. He had been sitting there 3 years. He got busted with a gram of cocaine, and he was an illegal immigrant. He sat there for 3 fucking years waiting on fucking immigration. Not officially.
Not a trial, just waiting for his immigration.
Waiting for immigration.
Yeah.
In the Wake County Detention Center amongst other prisoners.
Yeah.
Now, to me, that is a serious problem. Did he commit a crime? Yes. Would anybody be in America?
But he should be tried for that crime while he is waiting for that, moved on with his sentence, and be released.
Yes.
Apple into orange cart there. They mixed apple into orange cart.
They should not have, right?
They should not have actually. Yes, that is an apple into orange cart situation. It should have not gone.
And like, that's not just
we need more detention centers that are actual, let's call them midway homes. Okay, I would rather have a midway home. Call it a midway center or something like that.
Yeah. No internment camps. None.
Call it a fucking processing center if you want.
That sounds
a little too Nazi, but
it sounds a little awkward.
Which is odd. But let's make something better than what we have here to hold these people if we have to hold them. I would rather we give them a job and tell them, hey, we got a job over there waiting for you in this state. Here's your fucking taxi. Here's your Uber. Go. And, you got a job and we got you. We'll pay for your first.
Hell,
month.
you got a driver's license? Drive them.
Yeah. We'll pay for your first month.
You got experience driving a bus? Show me. Cool.
Which for my TikTok followers, y'all like challenges. I got one for you. Don't adopt a fucking immigrant.
Right?
Especially if you own a business. Give them a job.
Yeah.
Give them a room for the first month. Let them pay for give them room and board for the first month. If you're paying them wages, just after
Advertise the
that.
shit out of it.
After that, if you give them room and board for a month and a place of employment, they should be able to pay rent somewhere and move out, right?
Well, theoretically, rent prices is another thing, but
Depending on where you are, of course. But yeah. I mean, the wages thing, which is we're going to have to touch on, big time later, is what is a living wage. And like I said, if you're going to bring them over to live,
they need to be able to do so.
Be able to at least pay rent
without having to resort to means like crime and shit like that.
Right. Which, I'll go ahead and say in this one, I do believe that a minimum wage should be a way for you to have a minimum existence. I will say it now, and I will stand by it. Minimum production, minimum wage, minimum life, minimum outcome. It's just the way math works. And there's a whole lot there to discuss. It's not a finite thing, of course, because right off the bat you've got disabled folks. Where do they fit into that equation?
and then it just keeps going from there. Right?
And the equation is ever evolving, but that's the foundation of it, and that should be the foundation of it, in my opinion. Is that if you are stuck there is usually a reason for it, and the reason is usually a self reason. And we can work on that self-reason. It might not be self-inflicted or nothing along those lines. I'm not trying to blame anybody on that.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe you're unaware that you actually have an aptitude for a particular skill. And maybe that particular trade isn't taught at your local schools. There's all kinds of limitations that would need to be addressed there. Yeah. But that does not change the base of the equation. It adds another step to it. So, that's why I wanted to go ahead and clear that up now before we even had that discussion. I know that one's going to be a stick point there. I believe minimum wage is a starting point for a minimum life that you should strive to get away from.
As long as you can subsist on it. That's my thing. Sure, it should be, you want to be minimum, That's fine, but
That
they should
means
still
a
be able
roof over your house,
food in your
roof over
belly,
your head, and food in your belly.
and medical care. Come on. It's not that fucking hard. Medical care for that basic Medicaid.
Basic medical.
You know, I'm not talking about
care,
plastic surgery and shit like
basic
that.
medical care. Yes, basic medical care. Gotcha. Cool. But that one's going to open up a whole nother can of worms.
What if they have diabetes? Well, I guess basic medical care is what you need to be alive and healthy, right? If you have diabetes, best basic medical care for you includes your insulin.
Well,
the
the runaway snowball on that is then we start having the problem with supply and demands on that aspect, because you see it in other countries already. There was a big story about about the healthcare thing. Some kid in Great Britain. Apparently, the doctor said it's not worth the resources to try to save this kid's life because of the universal health care had these rules and regulations of how many resources you were allowed.
Yeah, to me, they're using it wrong.
It has to be spread evenly. So
no, it does not. It does not. Dick Cheney.
Well, then, if it's not, well, then all the resources spent to save this particular kid's life, you've got 3 other people here that their life could have been saved, but the resources were put to him this week. These people showed up next week.
Well, how many
That's
hearts?
the issue on that.
How many hearts has Dick Cheney had?
But I'm not saying there's not a better way. I'm not saying we shouldn't have it. I'm just saying that is the problem that is stopping people from going there. That is the big problem that even stops the brainiacs.
But to me, that's the big reason for going there. Is a child being denied fucking health care because it's not worth it.
Okay.
Now, is that
the St. Jude's? Which child gets the fucking 5 milligrams of the remaining drug that's going to save their life when you got 5 kids that need it?
Why is there not enough of this drug?
That's another good question. Apparently, we had no idea we needed that much of it, or it's really hard to produce. Because we've got a bunch of dead, dying children up there that need it. Just as that one little example there. That, if you try to expand that, and St. Jude's is, that's a free hospital for people.
Yeah, doing the Lord's work.
That is universal health care. In a small scale, that is your measure right there. Can they help all the children that come in there? No,
there's not enough resources for
exactly.
They subsist on donations and shit.
It doesn't matter what they subsist on. They have a finite amount of resources. Okay, the country has a greater finite amount of resources, but it's still finite. The world has a greater finite amount of resources, but it's still finite. Doesn't matter what scale you put on it. Until we hit the universe, it's still finite. We ain't got off this rock yet.
I don't know. I feel like I feel like it would have to be.
Is it finite to a point that it's a problem? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
I have no idea what numbers of what we actually have.
When it comes to shit like insulin, and I have no idea.
Somebody does, and that might be why we don't. I don't know. I love being on the side of this that I can say, why don't we have enough insulin? Because I'm on that side. Why don't we have enough insulin?
Yeah, and then you see these complaints. It's like, oh, they're giving out Narcan for free.
They fucking synthesize insulin. I got no fucking idea.
It's like you see these fucking hard riders, and I was like, oh well, they give out Narcan free for junkies, but I got to pay for my insulin. It's like, that's right. That's a problem. Yeah. You shouldn't have to pay for your goddamn insulin.
But how easy is it to make Narcan versus insulin? I don't know. Another fucking problem on that for the healthcare part of this too, because and yes, it's still an immigration because hey, all these people coming in would have to get on this too, right? Is why in the hell is this epinephrine?
Yeah, the EpiPen. Why are they fucking exorbitantly expensive?
When the same fucking amount at the fucking hospital costs $10.
Yeah, I know. Because that my friend is why I hate capitalism. Because somebody said, hey, you know what? People need this. We can jack those prices way the fuck up.
Okay, so why can't I go to the hospital and buy it from them for $15?
I don't know.
They'd make a profit.
Maybe they have a better line to it. I don't know.
But they'd still make a profit, right? So stop buying EpiPen, go to your local fucking hospital and buy it from them.
You know what? It might have something to do with the fucking insurance companies as well. Right, because the hospital already has it, but the people at the
you got a professional doing thing. You ain't got to. Okay, so
go to the
so this thing goes from
drugstore.
$10 to $100 because they had to go through all this stuff to make sure it's safe and you ain't gonna kill yourself with it.
No, I wasn't going to go there with it. I was going to say that because they can charge the insurance companies more for like the prescription medication, like the hospitals, they're just not going to pay that for it, you know. But if somebody, you know, they'll charge their fucking people. Damn, I saw a whole documentary about this.
Well, yeah, I get it. The cost of it to us, yeah, okay. Our insurance pays, $500 a shot for that damn thing, and they charge us $1,000 on top of that, but we're not paying that $1,000.
No, but they're still getting paid for it.
They got paid for it, and they write the rest off as a tax loss, so they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect good business.
And after a while, they're going to start like, we could just make this more all across the board.
So in a sense, we kind of have universal health care.
It's sort of like I have Medicaid, right?
We have publicly assisted universal health care because we buy the insurance that gets spread across for all of us throughout the insurance companies who pay a bulk rate price for everything to the hospitals, who write off the difference as a loss that gets reimbursed by the government.
It seems it seems like the stupid part is the money part, right? The thing that makes the least sense in the whole equation is worrying about who gets fucking paid at the end of the day.
My thing is, why in the fuck do I have to pay my fucking insurance company $600 a motherfucking month? And then still get a bill from them motherfuckers. And I still got to pay my fucking taxes to pay that bill that I don't pay.
I know, man.
When I can just go to the fucking doctor and say, hey, look, man, I need an hour of your time. Here's $50. I got this, here's wrong with me. Well, I can write you a prescription. Cool. And then I go buy my fucking drugs.
It works like that some places.
It works like that every fucking place.
It works like that,
You see, if I can buy my drugs from the hospital, it's getting such a bulk rate deal like the EpiPen thing there. Okay, the hospital can buy it for $10 a fucking shot. Why the fuck isn't the fucking hospital selling it to me for $100 a shot?
What's even crazier is a lot of hospitals now have pharmacies inside the hospital.
Well, I know. They'll charge you $15 for Tylenol.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. If the EpiPen costs you fucking $1,000 fucking dollars over here, go to the fucking hospital and buy it for $100. It's 10 times their fucking cost. They're happy. You're happy. This guy's fucked. He'll start making them cheaper, won't he?
I mean, he'd have to, or quit making them. But it's so weird, man.
Or maybe some of these people that we're educating and then sending back to their country because we don't want them for some fucking reason. Maybe we can keep them here with that education, and maybe one of them might find some fucking way to do it cheaper. Or come up with a better way. Maybe they might cure diabetes and maybe find some gene editing thing to eliminate allergies.
Yeah,
I mean, these people are coming over here to Ivy League schools on these fucking things, and then we're telling them, no, you can't stay. We're sending them back home, and they're doing all this fucking innovation in other countries. What the fuck is wrong with us?
Yeah, the cure for cancer might be sitting in the detention center right now.
And of course, I also agree with the other side of that fact, that it would be better for the poverty situation, if that's the only thing we're going to be looking at for this, the motivation for migration and immigration, if we kept people where they are, improve their lives at home. That's our other option.
Yeah, I've thought about that a lot.
Now, unfortunately, we got a horrible track record with putting our nose in.
No, we're not very good at doing it successfully. When we do, it's always humanitarian fucking nightmares.
So instead of putting our nose in their business, these people that we are educating, let's open up the avenues for education, and let's actually work on our education to open up, and allow them to go back home, not force them to go back home, but allow them to go back home, And then they can start improving the lives of the people from their home, which will make less people want to leave that home to come here. Might actually make some people want to leave here or other places to go to that home to drive their economy. And then, hey, look, now they're part of the world economy.
Yeah.
That, I think, would be the biggest impact on the world stage. Now, how do you do that? Because, like I said, we're pretty good at fucking shit up. Not all that great at fixing it.
No, I can't think of anything we fixed. Like, I can sit here and think for a long time.
We're pretty good at building shit. I mean, we bombed the fuck out of Afghanistan, built fucking schools, malls, dams.
I don't know how much of that I believe.
Oh, we did. All the women wanted to go to school. We built a school for them to go to, and then we gave it back to the Taliban, and they told them they can't go to school.
Almost like we wasted a bunch of money and time, huh?
Exactly. Now imagine if we could have done that if we'd have built all that shit down there at our southern border. Oh my gosh.
Imagine if we had just built them schools inside America, and funded it.
Yeah, maybe fucking New York wouldn't have an overburdened school system with the 100,000 immigrants that come in their fucking state. Which is another thing on this whole thing. All right. People up there that are complaining about immigration now, y'all shut the fuck up. Y'all ain't seen nothing. Y'all complaining about 60,000, 100,000. Oh my God, we got 2 buses last week. Go help Texas. Not by stopping people from coming across the border with your fucking military, you fuckwads. Go help them fucking process these people and get them into our country.
Because that's what's really happening is they're being sent somewhere else to kind of wait and process, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
help. If you declared yourself as a sanctuary city and you're crying now, what the fuck were you doing for the last 5 years? You were claiming yourself
clearly
as a
were
sanctuary
not.
city.
You clearly were unaware of what was happening.
Yeah. You weren't preparing for this? You need to change your leadership. I don't care about party there. You are a fuck up. You claim yourself a sanctuary city and welcoming to migrants, and then you can't handle the fucking migrant load that is coming, and it's nowhere near what's coming across the border. You weren't ready. You weren't doing your job. You were derelict of your duties. You need to be voted out. So people in those states, do your fucking job and vote these people out and get somebody in there to do the job right. Stop voting a fucking false dichotomy system.
Yeah, I mean, I kept hearing people. So when I was trying to find any kind of intellectual debate about immigration, I kept running across the oh God, what were we just talking about?
False dichotomy system.
Oh yeah,
voting people out.
This is really a bipartisan issue. It's like no,
it's not. This is a human issue.
Yeah, quit it into partisanship, right? Quit making it about that. All that shit is, again, the Andromeda Galaxy is on its way.
Even my conservative ass was looking at it as a legal, non-legal issue, not a fucking party issue. Okay?
Yes.
And now I'm looking at it way more as a humanitarian issue. I guess my liberal side showing a little bit.
AI is waking up. This shit is stupid.
Even AI was telling me this shit's stupid. I couldn't pronounce half the fucking words, but it was telling me this idea is stupid.
Hey, yeah, there's other things going on.
And for y'all people to think you waste your vote if you vote for anybody else but fucking Trump or Biden here in this particular...
If everybody else voted for somebody other than Trump or Biden, it wouldn't be a wasted fucking vote, would it?
Right. Yeah, since everybody is thinking like that, that is exactly why we are trapped.
And that would end once and for all the debate over the Electoral College and the fucking voter fraud. If everybody votes for Joe Blow instead of Joe Biden or Donald Trump,
vote for who the fuck you want to vote for, not who you're told to vote for.
Yeah, and if everybody votes for somebody other than Trump or Biden, and Trump or Biden win, guess what, fuckers? I was right all along.
But, quick caveat. Okay, I'm not going to claim that the election itself is fucking rigged, but Biden-Trump was predicted the day after the fucking election was lost.
What do you mean?
The day after Trump lost the election. I'm saying that again. The day after Trump lost the election, we were already predicting a rematch between Trump and Biden. Here we are, facing a rematch, Trump and Biden 4 years later.
We kind of knew it was going to happen. You know, like we kind of knew. Maybe
How many times in our history have we had a president lose an election as the incumbent?
As the incumbent, I was going to say,
then come back to try to run again.
how many times in our history have we voted out an incumbent president?
Enough that we should have more than one fucking person failing to win and then coming back again.
But not as many as you would think.
No, the incumbent is definitely favored.
I mean, like heavily so.
And to the point where that's part of the surprise of the election.
The fact that the incumbent lost should say a lot.
Yeah, that's usually a deciding factor that something wasn't fucking working. The incumbent usually has a decisive advantage. But like I said, we don't have any of them that have lost being the incumbent and then come back to fucking, to run again. It's just so much unheard of. I think we've had
higher in the polls than he was at this point in time during the last election.
And never have we had one facing such bullshit that he's got facing him outside of the election.
And every conviction boosts his fucking numbers. I kind of want them to stop the court proceedings for a while. Stop helping him.
Please get him out of the fucking media.
Stop fucking helping him. No, but he is the...
Even if it means Biden's going to win, keep him out of the fucking media.
Look, I don't like Biden either.
I don't either, but fuck. At least if he dies, we'll get somebody else.
And I don't want it to be Harris either.
I don't want it to be Harris either, but at least we'll have somebody.
I don't want a prosecuting attorney.
At least we can get that out of the fucking way.
My biggest thing with her is she is a prosecuting attorney with a horrible drug record.
My biggest thing about her is that she would fit the daggone racial freaking box checking narrative thing that we follow into and all that shit. Hey, we got a colored woman and she's a woman and blah, blah, blah. The only thing that she's missing is she's gay.
I don't really care about that. I look at what she's done, and it looks like
saying from that checkbox thing that everybody's going to be saying, hey, the Jean-Pierre, the White House spokesperson, we're the first African-American woman and the first person on the spectrum of gender or whatever is going on.
It shouldn't matter.
Right, it shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter.
But it does, and it will, and that's what everybody's So at least I can say if Biden dies, we'll be able to get that out of the fucking way. Because we'll have a woman of color in the White House. So that'll be our first woman and our first woman of color and the first. So we'll get those check boxes out of the fucking way so we'll finally be able to vote for somebody, right?
I think it should be commented on only as a, hey, look, this is some kind of progress, right? But at the same time, just because their skin color, it's like Colin Powell. Right? That sure would have counted as, or even better, Clarence Thomas. If Clarence Thomas became president, I know he's the, who he is, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to digest that idea.
I know his dick is just turgid right now hearing that probably. But if Clarence Thomas become president, we didn't really get a black president. All right.
That's not where I thought you were going to go with that.
We didn't really get a black. If Clarence Thomas became president, we didn't really get a black president. That's the way that the dude's best friend is a Nazi. We didn't get a black president, right? So I mean, there's.
Hey, you know me. I am the fucking epitome of justification over here, man. His best friend being a Nazi, even Nazis had some good ideas. They had a bunch of horrible ones, yes. They had a few good ideas.
I mean, there are some things that unfortunately
there were some fucking Nazis that didn't agree with every damn thing, but hey, what are you going to do? Get shot?
I mean, they had points, but not points that nobody else has ever made, right?
Unless you were one of the ones that was shoveling people on the train to fucking Auschwitz or anything from that point on, I can probably excuse you to a point.
If you left the Nazi party when you found out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're part of the machine that willingly put people from the train on, yeah, fuck you.
You are a janitor. That's why I say all
everybody else from that point forward, I can excuse, and I would be willing to be friends with them and get to know them.
Even
Well, at least get to know them to see if I would be friends with them. Let me reverse that. I would like to get to know them, understand their views, and then decide if I want to be their friend.
Right.
Whether or not they were a Nazi. I wouldn't put that. I would put that as a, hey, I need to be cautious, but I wouldn't put it as a barrier until I learned you worked at Auschwitz. Then, I'm going to be.
well, we got problems, right? And you're a piece of shit.
That discussion is going a different direction.
And that's why I go back to our cop up. So that's why I say all cops are bastards. At some point in time, you were willingly taking part in this, right? At what point do you get off the train?
Not necessarily. I would really say that even some cops are completely.
Well, the guy who
that they may be aware of situations, but they are never there. They never witness it. The problems aren't widespread throughout the entire department. It's bad enough that we have to talk about it. Yes.
the best police officer that I have read about in the last year is the guy who freaked out over the acorn. And let me tell you why I think he was so great. When they showed, I actually have read the transcript of his hearing because he fired a weapon or whatever. And when they slowed down the video and showed him the acorn, the cop said, "An acorn?" And the investigator said, "Yep, an acorn."
I resign.
He resigned.
Yes. I fucking resign. If I'm scared of a fucking acorn, I don't need this job. I commend him on that.
Absolutely. This is the best cop I've read about all year.
At least he came to his senses.
He realized, wait a second, this is a huge problem. And that should be a wake-up call for everybody.
Yes.
If the man, I found out, if that man, it wasn't that the bullets didn't enter the car. For one, cops use hollow points, right? But two, he as soon as fucking cop shots started getting fired, this guy threw himself on the floorboard of the cop car. So that is what saved his life, right? We're having an entirely different conversation. If he had just set up, he probably would have fucking died. So, yeah.
Didn't there's partner fire shots too?
She
started firing.
But hers
were response to actual fire.
She's hearing gunfire. She's seeing her partner wallowing around on the ground, and in her words, quote, walking like a baby giraffe. Because he couldn't even stand up. He was so freaked out.
Yeah, apparently he hurt himself with doing the rolls and thought he'd been hit.
Yeah, so she was acting in good faith.
Yeah, I have no problem.
I'm not mad at her at all.
Even if she had shot him, I would still.
But here is the problem. A gunshot went off.
Yes.
It could have been somebody in the fucking book depository building.
Yes.
And you're shooting an unarmed person.
A supposedly trained police officer fired a shot without knowing what the fuck happened.
Not just a shot. Emptied his fucking clip.
Well, that's a whole nother problem. That's a whole nother problem. The fact that he pulled the fucking trigger without knowing what was going on, that's the problem.
Yeah.
The fact that he continued to do it is completely different.
And then he did the right thing, which is what I think any cop that looks at this and says, wait a second, that's the way this system works. Either we fix it or we quit. That's the way it should go. And this is all off topic, but I had to talk about it. Right?
This whole fucking show is off topic.
Yeah, true.
Every episode.
Well, the thing is, they're all interlinked, right? Everything, that nothing exists in a vacuum, right?
Yeah, because all these police, these police are migrants' first point of contact.
Yeah, law enforcement is their first point of contact.
I mean, it's border patrol, so a little bit better training, stuff like that.
Well,
those are the guys who win in Uvalde, bro. Don't fucking this game.
I'm not saying anything bad. I was getting ready to say is that, well, they're at least braver.
And from what I've seen in videos, I've not been there personally, but I've seen firsthand videos kind of things of what they are way better trained to deal with the situation at hand than law enforcement is trained for their situation.
And I kind of feel like there should be a border patrol escort for social workers. right? Something of social worker ilk. The Border Patrol should be there just in case of these fucking terrorists that are supposedly flooding the border, which I haven't seen any case of that. I haven't looked for.
You telling me there's not a social worker in Texas that they can fucking say, hey, we need you to ride around on this bus with these migrants from this part where we process them to wherever the fuck they're going, get all their names, addresses, skills, stuff like that, see what kind of...
Well, I mean, from my understanding, Texas's social system is horribly managed, but they should have
I'm
social
sure
workers.
they have a university down there that has programs.
That's like an internship, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, you go intern.
You have graduates coming out of these schools in all these fields. Something you telling me one of them doesn't come out as social work?
If you can't go down to the border and be a social worker, if you can go down there and handle a year of that, you can be a social worker anywhere. Ain't nothing got shit on you.
Hell, how many universities are in Texas? How many of those universities have social work, have degrees in social work, whatever the hell they're called? I've got no fucking idea because I didn't go to fucking school. Tell me we don't have graduates in that state there looking for job experience?
Yeah, send them down there.
Duh. There's your solution. Put one of them on every fucking bus to help these people find a fucking life. Then we don't have to worry about them stealing shit, folks, because, hey, look, they don't, most of them do not want to come over here doing that. They don't want to come over here and be a criminal.
No,
I'm sure
they're trying to get away from it for the most part.
And so what? If I get 100,000 fucking hardworking people and I get 1,000 fucking hardened criminals, so fucking what? I got 1 million of them here already.
Yeah.
And apparently I've got room for them too, because we've got the highest population of fucking prisoners on the fucking
building
planet.
more as we speak.
So don't tell me we can't deal with that too. And we got prisoners here. I don't care about the prisoners that are coming over. We'll deal with them when we get here. We deal with the ones we got. We've already got that system in place. Yeah. Fuck you guys. And like I said, again, until they start shooting up schools, I got no problem with them.
At the end of the day, the biggest danger to American citizens is an American citizen.
I don't wear my fucking pistol because I'm scared of some Mexican or Guatemalan or Argentinian coming over here and trying to steal something from me. I am much more worried about my motherfucking neighbor coming to my fucking house and stealing everything I have.
Yeah, I mean, that's a much bigger thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and with my neighbor, it's much more likely to happen.
Yeah, and most of the people that I met in at least the prison system when I was in it,
not a dig at my neighbor, just a statistical problem.
Most of them are I would say the majority are just drug offenses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And which I guess brings me to my big point we brought up somewhat earlier about, how do we fix where they're coming from? Why are they wanting to leave this place? I would say if we want to slow down the tide of immigration into this country from south of the border, then we need to cease and desist with the goddamn drug war.
Well, I don't even think that should be touched on the immigration thing, but it would affect it, but that needs to be done anyway, regardless of immigration policies or not.
Right.
It needs to be ended.
That is not the only reason to do away with the drug war.
No, the money we save on the drug war can be put to fucking fixing this immigration problem.
At least education, right? So if you take away the drug war, then and you help these countries agriculturalize or whatever their drug production, industrialize their drug production. It'll be corporations down there instead of cartels that are running fucking cocaine legally into the fucking wherever they want to go, right? The farmers are going to be better taken care of. They're not going to be worried about having their children shot if they don't meet the fucking quota. There's none of this smuggling bullshit going on. The fucking governments don't have to be corrupted any more than a corporation's going to corrupt them because it's all legal now. You make it into an industry, which it already is, but you take the industry out of the criminal, Don't
even take it out of their fucking hands. No, they've already got the daggone distribution.
Right.
They got it locked down.
Sure.
Turn them into legitimate business.
Make them legitimate. Tax them. And that will build infrastructure. That will build infrastructure, not just here, it'll build infrastructure down there. Because now they can have roads to ship their fucking drugs on. They can use tractors. They can have government land set aside and protected to keep them from going out and mowing down national forests and shit to grow cocaine. Ending the drug war I would bet my fucking life.
Instead of working against these other nations down there, trying to tell them what they can or can't do, let's work with them on what they're actually doing.
Yeah, we can't stop
to make what they're doing the best that it can be.
Right.
Even if it's a horrible thing. Even if it's a fucking dictatorship. Let's try to make the dictator a better dictator.
Well, let's try to make the people that the dictator...
A more humanitarian.
Yeah, let's try to improve the pool of people that the dictator would be brought up from. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Instead of whipping everybody every day because they don't meet quota, maybe feed them a little bit more if they meet quota.
God damn it, Mike. You're so close. So far.
We're talking about from the perspective of one that is already there.
Oh, okay. Without the changes.
Yeah, we're talking about going down to this fucking narco state that's already a horrible dictatorship, beating the fuck out of everybody for not meeting quota and saying, hey, maybe if you feed them more for meeting quota instead of beating them for not meeting quota, maybe they'll work a little bit better.
Yeah.
That's that one. We can't fix the dictatorship overnight, but maybe we can make the dictatorship a better place to be.
Yeah. And for those who would bitch about, well, what about all the overdose deaths that are going to happen? What when those drugs come into our country? Well, for one, if they're legal and fucking regulated, it's not going to fucking happen.
My point on that earlier statement is it's like any other relationship. You can't go into a relationship telling the other person in this relationship they can't do anything they want to do.
No, you can't, especially with sovereign nations. No,
exactly. It don't work with your wife. It don't work with your fucking with your friend. It don't work with anything. That just don't work.
At least
you cannot build a relationship with demands.
They're not a good one anyway.
No. So you work with these nations, and you pull them out of where they are. By example, you don't force them to do anything. You just give them the idea. Then it's their idea.
Yeah, well, we would already have that in place with the way,
But instead of us going down there and saying, America's going to liberate you from the plantation farms down here, you give the idea to the dictator, and now the dictator's coming out, I'm going to make your life better on these plantations here. And then the next cycle, since he won his election, maybe we let them actually get paid for working on this.
Countries compete for it.
Well,
you're a humanitarian nightmare. We'll buy our cocaine only from this country.
That would be the further step. That would be a further step. So we're buying our cocaine from these guys because they actually pay their people to work so that they can buy.
Yeah, we're doing it with coffee.
Right. So, exactly. So we baby step them into it, and we let them grow from it instead of trying to force them into it from what they are.
They'll do it on their own.
They will if we help them. Instead of condemn them.
We don't even have to help them, just allow them.
Stop condemning them.
Yeah, exactly. We don't even they will do it themselves.
Eventually, it's going to work out like that because you cannot maintain a relationship, and a political relationship is still a relationship. It will not last like that.
And look at what we did in this country with marijuana, right? Before California started their medical marijuana thing, most of the weed me and you would buy would be from Mexico or south of the border somewhere coming through Mexico. And it was always shit weed.
Yeah.
Can you find that anywhere now?
No.
Because
we started decriminalizing marijuana so they could put more time and effort into quality.
Yeah, and it became no longer profitable for these cartels to smuggle their shit weed in. Now they just have like these little grow ops here and there, but that would go away if there was no drug war. They could just grow it down there.
Which is why if we invest our time and efforts into making the situations better where these people are, we won't have as many of them coming here stressing our system, making it where we can't accept as many refugees and asylum seekers. We would have less asylum seekers, so we would be able to help more refugees, which is another big giant problem in there, which is worldwide. People stop looking just at the border. You think we got a problem? Look at Pakistan. Afghanistan. Fuck. Afghanistan's having a problem with their own people coming back. You think we got a problem now? Afghanistan can't even take their own people back. Their own people.
Look at fucking Gaza.
No, seriously, the fucking infrastructure shit that's left over after the war and the stuff that they got set up in place was without the people that had ran away to Pakistan and everything else to get away from the war. Well, now that that stuff settled down and that little economy's got a little bit more stable there, everybody started coming back, especially when Pakistan said, oh, hell no, you fucked up our economy. Y'all got to go back home.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
of course it did. Fucking, what, 6 million or some people fucking got that flu? That's going to fuck up an economy. You aren't ready for that flood of people. Ain't no way in hell that country was. We aren't. No fucking way in hell they were ready for that. But somehow they managed. Okay? That's the ingenuity of the human race right there. Pakistan managed to handle an influx of refugees from 2 other fucking countries. A huge, and they ain't nowhere near as wealthy as we are. They have way more people. They got way less space. They managed. I don't know how, and I'm pretty sure it hurt, but they managed. Imagine if the USA got into that. With the industrial complex that we have at our fingertips. Imagine if we took some of our military industrial complex and redirected toward that, into the industrial complex and the manufacturing and the agriculture. We've got it all. And we've got the space for it. We could even reclaim some space from this farmland if we improve our farming instead of...
We could grow in skyscrapers hydroponically. Yes. Skyscrapers the size of a wall of the Twin Towers.
A city block. That's all you need. 1 city block per city.
50 stories high, hydroponic.
You'll be able to feed and supply the entire city and its suburbs.
Yep. We do it. We have the technology to do it better than what we
So we'll be able to reclaim all that land to be able to build more cities.
Housing and
so we got plenty of roads. Elon is right on it. Hate him and love him for the amount of money he's got and where he's putting that money at, but he's right on that. The fucking earth can support
not exactly why I hate him, but yeah, I agree with it. Yeah,
the earth can support many more people than
if we manage our resources in a more logical manner.
If we do it right. Yes. We have to use our brains. We have to use technology. We're not going to be able to just spread out and everybody have their own.
Quit looking at the cost fucking balances. Right. Nobody's going to be around to spend that fucking money if we don't fucking do something. Right?
And yeah, man, the wages issue is going to be a fucking fun one.
But at least, like I go back to with our southern border, I think the biggest thing we could do is inaction. By, stopping the drug war.
I think redirection of our action. Well, inaction on that subject.
Yeah. It isn't even a hard thing to do. We actually would have to stop doing things. And things would actually get better.
All we got to do is get out of its way, and it'll take care of itself.
Yeah, I think it was the Mexican president said
Will
something.
We get more stoners in our country? Yes. Will we have more deaths in our country? Yes.
Well,
for a short period of time.
Maybe.
For a short period of time. People are going to overdose.
Sure.
You legalize drugs, including the hard ones, which I think we should. Just eliminate all of them. Legalize all.
Right. I should be able to go to the ABC store and buy heroin. Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. Well, maybe not the ABC store unless we have a clinic next door.
Well, something like that. I would say you get where I'm going.
Go to your hospital zone, whatever that is, and that's where your hard drug zone, that's where your hard drug dispensary should be at, is in the medical center. Every city's got one where your hospital is and all your fucking little surgical centers. It's a medical zone. Okay. That's where we need to have, if we're going to go that route, that is where we need to have.
That's where drug interdiction needs to take place anyway.
Yes. That is where we have where people can go safely to buy their drugs. We tax them for their drugs to fund the next door neighbor of them motherfuckers to come over there when they overdose.
And we give them the fucking needles. We provide them the fucking, safety.
Yes, everything's 100% FDA. What the fuck ever we got to go through to make it.
If we did that simultaneously within the drug war, I don't think there would be that uptick in overdoses.
We're gonna. If we were to do it simultaneously, I think we could manage it.
Yeah,
we would definitely be able to limit.
We can't buy but so much in some of these legal weed states. You can't buy but so much weed a day. Sudafed here.
Which is weird since there's never been an overdose on marijuana.
I think their issue then is they're worried about trafficking.
Yeah. So legalizing, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
Hey, man, put me up next week. I want to buy a pound.
Well, it wouldn't be as big a problem, but we have problems in this country apparently with tobacco trafficking. You can go to prison for having too many cigarettes.
You can overdose on tobacco.
You fucking sure can. Oh, man. But yeah, it's like, I feel like we could do a lot for the southern border just by ending the drug war. That would slow the tide of people coming, right? Because you're taking the power, you're taking things that are criminal and moving it into legitimate, and these criminal things are already the backbone.
Passports.
Yeah, they have the backbone. They're already the backbone of their local economy. Now they can just do it in the open. Now
they have passports and they don't give a fuck about moving here because they're making the money they need to from here to live there. So we're turning the tap down. And then we get down there to these other countries, like we said, and we help these countries come out of the poverty situations that they are, the dictatorships that they are, whatever fucking situation they're in. See if we can redirect them to a better way of whatever they're doing. Hopefully we can get them to something more along the lines of what the rest of the world's going, this idea of democracy, whatever that's going to evolve into. I hope it's not an actual democracy because I'm scared of those.
I again think that the ultimate answer is a synthetic technocracy.
I do too. And I'm hoping we're going to get there before we get to a democracy because that's where it's scary. Majority rule scares the fuck out of me.
I would rather a computer tell me what to do.
Yes. Because majority rules is how you wind up with shit like slavery and racism and all kinds of other issues.
It doesn't allow for it.
It definitely does.
There's a Muslim.
The vast majority all of a sudden hates the color blue. You can't have a fucking blue shirt.
There's a Muslim guy that I listen to a lot of his debates, and he's Muhammad Hijab. You heard one of them, right? Well,
not my favorite, but yeah.
But he does his points.
He does his points. He's a little condescending, but yeah.
Oh yeah, he is very. He's aggressive. But I
don't mind aggressive. He makes it like condescending.
He makes good points. And one of them has to do with liberalism, which I'm a liberal, right? But if you can have, and it is conceivable to have, a death penalty within a liberal society where everybody is voting on a death penalty, then you are really no different than these other societies that are just doing it anyway, right? You follow what I'm saying there? If the death of a human being is a possible outcome,
then all we're doing is arguing semantics of what would...
it's optics at that point.
Yeah, it's all optics at that point. It's what does society judge that you are no longer part of society, period.
Right.
Not just the fact we're going to excommunicate you and throw you out. We're going to kill you.
Yeah, if all the things that are happening under these extremists, like with the Taliban, right? If these things are still possible under a liberal Democrat, direct democratic society, is it any better? Yeah, not really.
The end outcome doesn't have to necessarily be the judgmental basis on that. It's how you get to it. The decision-making process to get to that conclusion can be the deciding factor on that. If you get to that decision simply because somebody doesn't agree with you on a matter that has no bearing on anybody else's life, then we got a problem.
I actually disagree with making laws about anything that has no bearing
simply
on
because somebody's
life.
a homosexual.
Has no bearing on my life.
Who they choose to lay with, has no bearing on anybody else's life. That's not a life or death penalty.
Nope.
Who you decide to take out of life has a bearing on somebody else, for sure.
Yeah.
So if that's where I say the decision making to get to the end point can be the deciding factor of which one's better. We both have ideas of what's unacceptable for society, and you must be killed. Okay. We both have that in common, but how we get there and what we accept is completely different.
Agreed.
And that is where the evil lies in the other side of that particular story, that particular example. Killing people is evil, but
now what if
sometimes you have to do a necessary evil to save the good.
The Taliban was voted in democratically?
Well, that would mean that everybody else is kind of on board with their ideals, and that would be the right way to go because society has deemed it so. We are the only ones that can judge ourselves.
I do when I look at it from the broad, the huge
Christians,
the huge. When I look at the huge, the objective perspective, right? To me, like the idea of a direct democracy is, I mean, yes, sure, there's going to be people who are, they're underrepresented or not represented or even gone against, right?
That is my fear of the democracy, is the fact that if the majority of people say, hey, these folks are right, then all of a sudden we're living under those laws and now people are getting killed just for being homosexual. I don't want that, which is why I don't want a fucking democracy, because we're importing people or letting people immigrate into this country from everywhere, which means all of these ideas come here.
And I'm using drug laws here because it's something I know the most about and it's easier from frame of reference, right? But under a direct democracy, marijuana would be legal nationwide.
Yes, well,
so
however, under that same direct democracy 60 years ago, it would have been banned.
Yeah.
Simply because of a majority of the people, and it don't have to be a big majority, just a small majority, 51%. That's a majority. Now everybody else is fucked.
Now, which leads me to my whole thing of no matter which system, be it a tyrannical dictatorship, some sort of authoritarian,
there's always a flaw because two people have to.
Exactly.
Somebody has to give up something.
And
exactly.
I think if the whole world was run by a computer, then,
the whole equation is how much does everybody have to give up for everybody to get along? That's the big equation. Because that's what it is. It's all compromise, and compromise is, finding a solution that neither party likes.
Usually, yeah. And like I said, but that's all pie in the sky stuff, man. But which is what we do here on the show.
Absolutely. Other than justify criminal actions and just maniacs in some ways.
Oh no, I'm pretty staunch anti-genocide.
Yeah, but the person that commits the genocide,
anti-genocide.
I will show where they shine. I can find the shine in any turd, man.
Anti-genocide.
Even Hitler had his good moments.
Anti-Hitler, pro-Thanos.
But like I said, even Hitler had his good moments.
I actually don't see why he didn't get accepted into art school. I kind of liked his paintings.
I did too.
When you just look at him,
I didn't like his literary works all that well. But he did have some points from that perspective.
Sure.
From that perspective.
He had good enough points he was able to convince an entire country he was right. And the majority of the country he was right.
And apparently him and the people he was working with were able to motivate these people to come from a fucking third world war-torn nation to a world power in a few years.
That, to me, is the power of collectivization.
But it took Hitler to get it in motion. It took
a single
charisma, I guess.
It took a singular point of power. Right? We call it a dictator or whatever. Yeah. But the problem with dictators is they're human.
But he had the way of being able to get the people to motivate to do something. Say what you will about Hitler and all the evil that he did, whatever. You have to give him the credit for bringing up his fucking people from what they were in to what they became.
Well, and even look at what...
Right up until the time war broke out.
Then war were declared. But
at that point, I no longer give him credit.
Now, but you see the same thing in Stalin's Russia, right? There was massive humanitarian things, but afterwards, I mean, to this day, Stalin is still hailed as like the father of modern Russia.
It did hellacious evil, but it corrected a problem.
It did.
Putting him on a course correction.
Yeah.
Say what you will, but it worked.
Yeah, you can say the same thing with Mao and the Great Leap Forward.
Which is what I say about the drug war. Yes, we're going to have a decline in our living standards for a short period of time.
Well, I say we could look at places like Oregon and Portugal.
I think we can
and be like, this is what went wrong in these places.
But we also have another nation down in the South that legalized, and when we can see that as an actual example from what happened. Right. Okay, they did have people sitting on the streets getting fucking roasted. You have it up in Canada now with people, and there's one of the provinces up there, they've decriminalized something, and now you have the I can't remember what it was. They call it the zombie drug. I don't.
Yeah,
but they're just sitting out on the sidewalk, you're zoned out. Okay, you're gonna have that when you legalize it.
Sure,
right off the bat, you're gonna have it. But that will very quickly decline when those people find out that it's this place I can go and I'm safer here. You're going to have people overdose on these drugs. But with the clinic next door, those will be mitigated.
Yeah. And you're never going to completely do away with the black market, right? You're never going to completely do away with that.
I can get you this high cheaper, man.
Yeah,
You do this without taxes.
I go up to the weed store in Durham and meet drug dealers all the time who try to give me their numbers. Like, you want to buy some weed?
But most of us, like myself, are too fucking lazy to grow weed if I can go buy weed.
Yeah, or there's like prohibitive things to it, right? I mean, I want to grow weed, but there's issues that make it fucking untenable at the moment.
If it was legal, but the only way I could have weed, it was to grow it myself. I couldn't buy it, but I could grow it. I would grow weed.
Oh, yeah.
But if I could buy it, I wouldn't grow it.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. If it was legal, but I could only grow it, I'd grow it. Grow the hell out of it.
Yeah.
But if I could do both, grow it and buy it, I ain't growing it. Fuck you, I'm lazy. I'm an American motherfucker. I'm paying somebody else to grow that.
I might would have some just for a hobby. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe.
Because
yes, because I do like growing.
People are
I love the smell of it.
Yeah,
all that good shit. Yeah, I'd probably still have one for fun, but I wouldn't be growing it for consumption.
No.
Way too much fucking work for me. I'd much rather pay somebody else.
I might would be like, that's a nice bud right there. I'll take that.
Of course, I'm going to consume.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't be trying to grow enough for me to consume. It's too much work. I consume too much for me to grow for myself. I have to pay somebody else to grow my weed. I don't have enough property. Not even if I use the family's property.
And honestly, I don't. Down there where you live, I don't know if there's enough electricity.
And showing enough internet to sell it.
No. Oh, Jesus.
But yeah,
who's better internet in Gaza?
Not for long. My Starlink's on the way.
Oh, man. You'll at least have the same capability as Ukraine.
Or Russia.
That was a joke a few weeks ago we made. Like, wow, they can get internet.
Yeah.
He even said, well, I'm not being shelled by Russia. Like, isn't that what it takes?
Shout out to my buddy that actually thinks I'm worth spending time with. Love you, man. Call that first donation into the Stoner's Points. What I'm gonna do.
I mean,
that's
sure,
definitely going to help me do research and shit, and spend more time putting my brain into the world's point of view.
Man, be careful though. See, you'll end up like me. You get burned out pretty quick, and then you have to watch cartoons.
Nah, that's Star Talk, bro.
Yeah, or
anything else, astrophysics, or
Yeah, I'll go to an atheist debate. Like,
I got those in my rotation too. But number one, Star Talk, and then probably science. There's another one that Brian Greene's one of. I can't remember his fucking show though. Sorry, buddy. But yeah, you put me on anything science. Yeah, I'm stuck.
Yeah, or even with me, like, if it's well done in at least any degree, like ancient Egypt. There ain't a documentary out there.
I watch Bill Nye.
Well, Bill Nye in himself is what's well done. I watch Bill Nye on a shitty on I listen to Bill Nye on shoe leather. Like, I respect Bill Nye.
I respect him, and he's earned his place, but his videos are like. They're on the bottom of my rotation. And it's just like, man, your content sucks. Your subject matter is great.
His debates are great.
His debates are good. Yeah, he brings a little bit of down to earth banter with him. But I I really dislike. He's definitely not Neil.
No. And
don't like listening
Neil
to him.
doesn't do debates enough.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, but yeah. Fuck, Bill. I don't like listen. I can't listen to him talk about science for an hour in a row. I can't do it. I'll get the point and I'll move on.
I will listen to Bill before Stephen Hawking. You ever heard any of Stephen Hawking's things?
Okay, he can't speak, and I don't like AI voiceover.
I would rather read it.
But if he wasn't there, I'm pretty sure I would.
If you want to go to sleep,
If he actually had his voice, I would probably listen to Hawking's more than I would.
he drones on, which
Yes.
is fine.
That's fine too. I love Carl Sagan.
Yeah, I don't hate him.
I will listen to anybody. It's just I don't know. Bill, just I don't know what it is. It's just it doesn't fit right. It's like, I don't know if he's not taking it seriously enough. If he's trying to reach the audience, it's just not me. I mean, he's doing his craft well. I've got no problem with it. It's not like it's low quality or nothing like that. Maybe it is the fact that he's reaching a different audience.
And there's another two like that with me. Norman Finkelstein and what's the other really, really old guy? Noam Chomsky.
I think I've heard of Chomsky. There's a lady that I really like. She's got a fucking hell of a
Both of these guys.
Hoffenfetter.
If you want a good view of the situation in Palestine, Israel, they have the best information. But both of them speak so flat and slow that it is hard to listen to. Like, I love listening to Norman Finkelstein because he's fucking intelligent. Same with Noam Chomsky. But god damn, it's a fucking task. It's so easy to drone out because it's a drone.
Oh, you could drone out Neil if you really, really wanted to. You have to have seen that video before you can.
Yeah, because he keeps you on edge, right?
Yeah, you ain't fucking tuning him out the first time you've seen it. Now he's perfect to go to bed to the 5th time you watch the video. You already know everything he's saying. You can recite it verbatim, but just listen to that voice.
Those silky tones coming through.
Damn, I can listen to that shit every fucking day, man. Holy shit.
He's the Morgan Freeman of science.
Damn right. Oh my God, yes. What we need is more of that going down to these other folks down. Maybe those, if we could send that daggone kind of science and knowledge down there to where these fucking people are coming from, maybe they'll stay. Like I said, educate them there. Make their lives better there.
Yeah.
Give them more hope there.
I mean, just look at the infrastructure.
Go down there and actually help them instead of change them. And the help.
Yeah, go down there and build universities and shit like that.
Exactly. And if you're worried about corruption and the cost and stuff, well, first we got to fix that here at the source.
Yeah, we can't be throwing stones in a glass house.
And then instead of giving them the money, say, what do you need? Oh, you need schools, you need roads, you need courthouses. No, you don't need those. You need universities, you need
anything
power
but churches.
plants. You need all that good shit. Yeah, okay. Hey, guess what? We just happen to have had 2.5 million people come into our country looking for work. We can use that workforce, come down here and build all this infrastructure that you need without giving you a fucking dime for you to fucking corrupt in. And then that might actually help you do some things because you won't have to steal from your people to try to give you power. We've given everybody power. Electricity power, by the way. Not power. Electricity. We've given everybody electricity. So you don't have to steal from your people so that your palace can have electricity.
Yeah. That's another thing.
We've built irrigation systems and water purification systems so that everybody can have clean drinking water instead of just you up here at the palace. That's going to make everybody better. We do that kind of shit. Don't give them billions and billions of fucking dollars that they won't use for it. And don't go tell them that they have to have this shit. Offer it. It's a humanitarian thing.
Yeah. It's the decent thing to do.
Don't give them fucking nuclear power. Okay, we ain't giving them fucking trade secrets. Gotcha. Okay. But they got a river, right? Let's give them hydroelectric power. Right? Okay. And now they have enough energy available to them to try to develop their own fucking nuclear power. And let's not hinder them when they try that because they want to stop burning coal and oil and shit. Let's not stop them from trying to get nuclear energy.
Yeah. I mean,
people stop being scared of nuclear energy. If we stop hating each other, we won't be prone to blow somebody up.
That leads me back to we'd be better off under one world system.
We would, but I want to get there organically.
Sure, I don't want it to be a one world government. I want it to be a one world system.
Yeah, but I want to get. We're trying that. It's not working out all that well. Look at the United Nations. Can't even stop a war.
No, they can't stop a genocide, let alone a war. War involves two parties.
I've been seeing some more information on that. I'm kind of coming back off the genocide idea a little bit, not much, but a little bit. After seeing some of the statistics that I never looked into about the predictions of wartime in urban areas, that most predictions put casualty rates of civilians at a 10-1.
Right, I would say
urban environment.
I would say maybe genocide at this particular point in time. It's too soon to say genocide. But what we can say is indiscriminate killing of civilians.
I don't even know if we can say that because the numbers that we're getting are either coming from Israel, coming from Hamas, or they're estimations from the UN.
Yeah,
I can't believe either of the two supposed
last
facts.
I saw, Israel's body, the count Israel is keeping is higher than Hamas's.
I can't fucking one of them.
So I go with Hamas's numbers because they've been the lower ones, and I can sleep better at night.
But are they citizens or are they? Because if they're all citizens and only a handful of Hamas fighters, how in the hell is Hamas such a big fucking deal? I don't think all of these deaths are civilians. Now, I'm not saying that civilians are helping Hamas, but I think more of these deaths that Hamas is saying, hey, they killed 56,000 people. Yeah, I'm thinking more of a percentage are Hamas fighters or people that are supporting Hamas than that 56,000. I don't think it's just 1,000 or two. I think it's more like about 10 or 15,000. And that's one of the best estimates.
Well, then you're still eradicating the people because of their political ideology.
Well, the thing is, yeah, you are, but the thing is, you're still targeting Hamas, and the world agrees that Hamas has.
Sure,
Palestinian people don't need to go. Hamas needs to go.
I say that Israel is not. They're not paying attention to the difference.
That's what I'm trying to make here is that if we go on the best estimates of what the fighting force that we're seeing actually is, and the numbers are closer to 10 to 15,000 than they are 1 to 2,000 actual Hamas fighters in that death toll, then Israel's actually getting closer to a 2-1 to a 3-1 civilian to target death ratio, which is astronomically better than all of the estimates of 8 to 15-1. So if you go on that particular scale, Israel's doing a pretty fucking good job. But these are estimates.
Right.
We don't know the facts. It's
all propaganda.
We don't know the facts yet. All we do know is that people are being told to go to an area and get bombed. That part bad.
I mean, that's indefensible. And there was one thing I heard, I can't remember where I heard it, but the guy said, if you ask somebody, an Israeli, they said, if they're inside Tel Aviv in Israel, if there was a tunnel underneath the largest hospital in Tel Aviv and Hamas was hiding in it, would the Israeli Defense Forces act the same way that they are to the ones in Gaza?
Hell no, they go in there with their people instead of a bomb.
Which is why
what I've been saying. You've got the fourth largest military on the fucking planet. You've got the third most advanced military on the fucking planet. You've got the smallest target ever to be in a war theater on the fucking planet. How in the hell are you not in control of this fucking situation on day one?
Because they don't want to. That's clearly they're lying about their goals.
You can lock them down. The world would be okay with it.
Just stop bombing.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. They could go in with surgical strikes. like they would if it was a goddamn hospital in Tel Aviv.
And it would be a whole lot easier to find your target if you got a soldier sitting on every fucking street corner telling you, hey, this guy's being suspicious over here.
Yeah, I mean, you want to occupy something.
Yeah, occupy the motherfucker. Hunt them down from the inside, take them the fuck out. Hell, here's a better idea. How about you make their way of life a little bit better so they don't want to fucking fight to begin with?
Like, yeah, and bombarding people hiding in tunnels doesn't really help. We tried that in Vietnam.
I mean, you're fucking Israel. We're sending you $2 billion a fucking year. Spend some of it over there on them.
And then they always go back to, well, whenever the money was being spent in Gaza, Hamas just used it on building tunnels. Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it?
And why does this have anything to do with immigration? Because we're talking about migration as well, which is part of immigration, and the world is fucked in this, people. Look at that situation at Gaza. Look at what's going back out of Pakistan, Kazakhstan. Look at fucking Ukraine. Yeah, every fucking body's having problems, and we ain't even got into the African nations yet.
I don't know anything about anything over there.
Just look up refugees. You'll see what
I'm sure it's horrible.
Okay, it is. It's just as horrible as every fucking where else. The refugee problem, which is a migration issue of the human race. Migration is caused by outside sources. It doesn't matter if it's weather, climate, food, war. It doesn't matter. It's migration. Refugee just matters that it happened immediately and it's out of anybody's fucking control. Yeah, except for a national level. So we got refugees all over the fucking world, completely straining the resources of other fucking people because nobody is working together on this situation.
Yeah.
We're all fucking humans and we're ignoring the humans. What the fuck?
It's what we're good at, apparently.
What else we got to get in on that? Because there was some other things that we wanted to talk about there.
With what?
With the immigration part, with the numbers and stuff. I don't exactly know, but I'm going to have to walk out the door for a second. So if you can keep it going or hit the tag on pause, we'll edit whatever. Eyeballs are fucking.
Oh yeah. He has to go migrate to the bathroom to immigrate some urine into the toilet. And I'm just sitting here with you guys. God, how long have we been sitting here talking to you about this, huh? Let's see. I can't tell. Well, during this brief interlude, keep tuned. We got episodes coming up. We're going to be talking about wages and labor. We're going to be talking about AI. We're going to be in future episodes. Charlie Manson's Fanny Pack is. I'm working on a Jonestown series, kind of at the request of Storm. So I've been splitting my time with listening to Jim Jones preaching. So yeah, that's going to be a several part series. I'm sure. There's a lot to talk about there because there's a lot going on with Jonestown. To this day, even there's a lot of shit going on, like the ripple effects of Jonestown. And, yeah, that'd be another interesting thing. Let's see here. And, Jonestown, that what happened there to the Guyanese government, and because of a whole bunch of Americans immigrating to Jonestown. I didn't even think about that. That's going to be fun.
Micro crisis. That almost didn't have an end. What are you talking about? It's going to be fun now.
Oh, I was giving the both of our listeners the kind of rundown of some future episodes coming up, and
oh yeah, that was a good time to do that.
Yeah. It'll be fun talking about Jonestown, which is also there's an immigration talk there. Jim Jones migrated all of his people to Guyana before they migrated off the planet.
I sit here and looked at my screen when I come back down. I'm looking at all these pages that I had up for information that we were going to be looking at for different pieces of information. I ain't looked at a fucking one of them this whole entire conversation.
It was all organic. How much have we already kind of covered?
Yeah, most of it, yeah. But there was one little thing that I'd read through all this stuff. That New York Times article that let me know that 800,000 people applied for asylum and only 20-some thousand were granted. And they let me know that Biden's actually trying to make that harder. So, hey, look, folks, your guys hard on immigration too. Was talking about how the the form was a complex form to apply for asylum.
Okay.
I read over that form. I actually went to get the form itself. I've got it downloaded as if I could apply for myself. Okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing complex about that. Not a bit. Now, it might be a complex way for somebody that doesn't have power or internet or what the fuck ever. Was that?
I just crunched the numbers on 25,000 divided by 1,500 was 25,000 people that got asylum, and there's 1,500 judges that decided. That entire year, each judge only decided 16.
Yeah. And that's what they granted, not the one that they actually...
Yeah. They granted an average of 16.6666 repeating. Anyway, that was just...
I would like to know what their actual case, how many people do they see a day? That's another number. Are they only working fucking 8 hours a day, seeing fucking 5 people a day? Then we need to up those numbers. You know, we definitely need more judges down there to like I said, to streamline that. We definitely need more interviewers down there to streamline the interview process to even get to that point.
This is like they're required to do one every 2 weeks or something.
But the form, it's if you've got access to the internet or you've gotten here to be handed this form, quite honestly, if you can't figure out how to fill it out after somebody's told you, hey, this is how this form is structured. Your name is in this spot. You put your name in this blank spot. Explain to them how a form works, because they probably haven't seen a form before. So you explain to them how this works, right? If after that point that they have told you your name goes here, your address here, you answer this question in this box. This is how forms work, and they hand you the form. Now, I've been handed forms in this country and been told this information. As an American, from an American, I have been given these instructions almost every time I've been handed a form.
Most of the time, I'm like, I got it. Yeah.
Pretty sure they do it there, and I'm pretty sure they got these printed out in every fucking language available. This may sound fucking hard, folks. There's nothing complex about that form, and my honest fucking opinion, if they cannot figure out how to file that form correctly, I don't want them.
If they have the resources to learn how, like if they have an interpreter there or different languages, if they know how to read and write, that's another thing.
Well, that's a different hurdle. I'm talking about, they're saying it's complex. If you can't figure out how to do it, period. Like, I don't know how to write my name.
Then you'll never be able to fill out taxes.
That would be where I would say I draw the line of the kind of people that I would want. Well, I mean, it may be drawn from them. They just don't have the education, but I don't think you need an education to be able to follow simple instruction.
No.
And this kind of thing is as simple of instruction as it comes, is fill out a form. I have told you how to fill out the form. The form is the instruction. Okay? It's like I hand you your fucking homework paper, read all the fucking things, and then sign your name at the bottom, and then the fucking last fucking thing is do not put your name on this paper.
Yeah.
You failed.
And I've seen the form for that too. It is much simpler to apply for asylum or than it is, because I have I had to do 15-page long form of just trying to get in to the autism center thing to get tested, right? And I could still be denied that.
To apply for an asylum is almost as easy as applying for a job.
Easier. You don't need references.
It's pretty much negative.
Well, I mean, some, but you don't need it's not.
You don't
like
have to have
here.
a sponsor.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you have to have references. So, hey, can I call them to let them to find out that you're actually the person you're telling me you are?
Right.
You have to have that.
And then there's this whole rigmarole they go through now. It's like they go through. They run your information through the Department of Homeland Security. They run it through Interpol. They run it through some other shit. A couple of they run it through another organization. Then it goes back to the Interpol to check one more time. It's 18 months or so of it just going department to department, getting checked out to make sure you are who you are.
Oh, and the biggest thing in the whole thing is the actual illegals. The actual illegals. We had 2.5 million border encounters last year. 500,000 are the actual illegals, the getaways, the ones that didn't get caught or didn't surrender to Border Patrol, didn't try to do things the right way. is only 500,000. Out of the 2.5 million, is only 500,000. Still 1/5. I mean, it's still a problem, but it's not the big problem that everybody's trying to make the whole thing big.
If you listen to the news, just everybody in the world is hopping a fence and running into
the whole entire 2.5 million across here hopping fences and running wild. No. That is not the story.
No, that's not even. They're not even the majority.
No, the majority of that is getting sent back.
Yeah. Honestly, the majority of illegal immigrants, illegal aliens in this country, flew in or came in with permission and overstayed.
Yes,
that is the majority of it.
I just want to cut down on the whole 2.5 million people coming across illegally. No. 500,000 of them come across illegally. The other 2 million did it legally. You have to get on legal. There's nothing illegal about coming into America.
No.
How are you coming into America? Okay. A misdemeanor. Big fucking deal. Fuck, I lost the goddamn train. I had a whole goddamn train. Fuck, that marijuana memory will catch you every time.
You're not smoking enough.
I know.
Then it doesn't help. You just don't notice.
Yeah. That goddamn thing.
You were talking about people coming in. The complaint is that these 2.5 million people are coming in illegal.
Yeah, they're all illegal. No, the vast majority of that 2.5 million people got turned back away. Yeah, 800,000 applied for asylum, and when you apply, you're granted temporary. So that's 800,000 there. And then you count the 500,000 runaways. So you're up to a little over 1 million, 1.3, something like that. The rest of them motherfuckers got fuck you, go home.
Yeah.
So we're doing something, and it's a vast majority of it that's getting sent back.
Or they just apply for a visa, get on a plane, fly over.
And then apparently those are fucking tough to get.
Yeah. Well,
even for education, which
it depends on where you're from. I know more of that because of John Oliver. He was because he immigrated from England or UK or whatever. Every year he had to go all the way back to England
to renew his fucking passport.
Why
can't you do that at any fucking customs office?
And there's exactly. And there was no guarantee that he would be approved. So every year he had to leave knowing that he might not be able to come back. Now that process to a Honduran or Guatemalan or Mexican is way more prohibitive.
Yeah.
Right? The chances of them not being able to come back extend greatly. In fact, Storm's mom's aunt's ex-husband, he was from Mexico somewhere, right? He went down there. He had a visa card here. He was technically legal. He went down for like his mother's funeral, I think. And when he tried to come back in, he had to like reapply and they wouldn't let him back in. He couldn't come back. He had to like get coyoted in. And it was like and the fucked up thing is he owned a business here. He paid taxes. He was a legal immigrant who had to come back illegally for nonsense. Right? And it's ridiculous.
That's another thing. These people that apply for asylum, they get over here. It can be a decade before they see court.
Mm-hmm.
In that decade, they build a life.
Yeah. Have kids, got jobs.
Sorry, folks. After that amount of time, it shouldn't be about asylum anymore.
And citizenship.
Yeah, you have proven that you are worthy of being a citizen by every fucking measure.
Yes.
Nobody can complain about this shit. If you've opened a business, if you're gainfully employed, if you've got a family, if you've got a social network in your community, how in the fuck are we even considering throwing you away?
Yeah.
You are the best of American idealism.
It's ridiculous to throw you out now, right? Because you've been here that should be the way it's kind of done. And if you look at all the bullshit that comes in through coming in illegally, is it any wonder that people say, damn, I got a better chance hopping the fence and running onto a train?
Yeah, because that 500,000 people that did get in without going through both customs and shit and all that stuff. they've got a better chance of staying than the 800,000.
Yeah, so is it any wonder? You know, I don't blame them one bit. I used to before doing all this research.
Yeah, the number 800,000 came in to apply for it. 26,000 were granted asylum. What happens to the others? They're deported.
It's sent back to the hell from which they came.
So the 500,000 come in illegally. They go get jobs under the damn table, whatever the hell they get. And as long as they stay under the fucking radar, they're here.
Yeah, and you think they're going to go and try again?
They got maybe a 50% chance of getting deported. That's a hell of a lot better than, you know, what's 26,000 out of 800,000? What's that percent? I don't even want to do the math. Fuck
Ridiculous percentage. We're talking about the point zeros.
That would be one of the driving reasons why people would do it. The expedition of it might be why. You know, it would be faster just to come over here, take the charge, and be put on a bus and go than it would be to try to go through a legal port of entry. You have to go through all that rigmarole and then stay in a center for the 6 weeks it's going to take or whatever long it takes to get the interview to see if you can apply for fucking. And then who knows what the hell happens after. Too much uncertainty.
If you're going to have to deal with uncertainty.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it illegally because I know what I'm going to do. I got a plan for that. I got no idea what the fuck these people are going to do across the border on that side. I know what I'm going to do over here. I can understand. I don't agree with it, but I understand why you're.
Yeah, I don't agree with it. I'm more upset at the system that makes that the best way.
I'm with the people that say we need to fix this problem. Yes, it's a problem. I agree. We need to fix it. I agree. Shutting the border down and telling them to go home and dealing with it later is not a solution.
No.
That don't work.
Busloads of National Guard and truckers going down there ain't the solution either. No. We need busloads of people going down there to help, sure.
Yes, we do. We need all of you Americans that have any kind of disposable income to give to some kind of a charity or something, or start one. Fuck, and start collecting from the other folks.
Hell, if you live in the area, fucking
if you live in the area, if you've got a fucking room that you've been looking for somebody, hey, you're tight on fucking money, right?
Even if you just go down there with a few cases of bottled water. That, I mean,
yeah, give them one.
These people are crossing the desert, give them, they're human beings, and that's the thing that gets lost on a lot of things. It's like, oh, they're illegal immigrants. Yeah, but they're fucking people.
Hell, do the American thing and capitalize on them. You got an extra room in your fucking house. Hey, your bills are tight because, hey, economics are where they are right now. You got people coming across the border, coming over here to try to build a way of life. Take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Give them a room.
Similar to like Airbnb.
Give them a room, let them have enough time to find a job, or you find one that's got a job that still hasn't found a room. And that's
kind of how the migrant communities work as it is. They'll have people coming from, wherever, and they know other people here. These people have been here for a few years, so they move in with them, they split bills, and they just keep at it.
Until they get another place. Yeah. Exactly. And we've got a bunch of people having problems paying the fucking bills in their 4-bedroom house when there ain't but 2 of them living in it. What the fuck? Yeah, hey, capitalize on this motherfucker over here that's living in a trailer with 15 other people. He or she might want a fucking room and might be willing to pay you a couple $100 a month for yours.
Yeah.
There's another challenge.
It's a solvable problem.
Get out of your gated communities, for fuck's sake, and actually go fucking look at one where people are trying to get in. Yeah.
Yeah, go somewhere where the fucking barbed wire points the other way and see how it looks.
But I stand by my damn commitment. Y'all folks want to fucking do something about it, start some fucking charity, hey, tell me how to fucking start the damn thing. Hell, start it your damn self and just use me as your fucking idea man. I'm cool. $50,000 a year salary is all I want.
Yeah, man, I'd be happy.
That's just barely above the poverty line here. You can't tell me I'm fucking greedy. I will live like a fucking king on that.
You're a minimalist.
I will live like a king on $50,000.
You had 3 forks in your house for the longest time.
And I hate that I lost one and had to buy a whole fucking pack to replace it. Because now I got 12. I got me 4 miles in the house. What do I need 12 forks for?
You have guests?
Bring your own fucking
BYOF party.
I got an acquaintance, man. Man, if I had my life to start over, I would do it just like him, I swear. He's the perfect fucking bachelor. Man, he goes to fucking work, makes enough money to pay his fucking rent and his fucking bills and his fucking food. That's all he fucking does. And then his hobby. He's got one pot, one plate, one fucking pan, one fucking bowl, one glass, one set of fucking silverware. That is it. You ever want something to drink in his house? You better have brought it yourself because he ain't got shit in his fucking refrigerator.
You ever see, you seen that Jack Reacher, the Reacher series on Amazon?
Yeah.
His whole philosophy of, well, once you start carrying around all these extra clothes, then you need a luggage. Then you got to have a closet to put that shit in. And you need a car to put in the driveway.
This is where that point was going.
Yeah.
All that minimalistic stuff, just the bare minimum he needed to live. Guess where the rest of his income that was now disposable went? He owned every fucking music CD known to man in the metal genre. Not a digital download, an actual fucking CD. He owned the best fucking stereo system I have ever seen in somebody's fucking house. He owned every fucking video game system made. Every video game on each one of those fucking systems. And all the fucking drugs he could consume. Point to a problem in that lifestyle.
Sounds good to me.
And nobody to tell him he couldn't do it or he was doing it wrong.
That's one of the things I kind of like. I mean, it's somewhat of a side, but not really.
Y'all did that on a general labor job.
It's one of the things I like about DoorDash. I can work when I want. I can work when I need to. But I won't do a goddamn thing if I don't need or want to.
Exactly.
And to me, that frees me from waiting.
Like going to shop at Dollar General for you fucks. Hell to the fuck no. I ain't doing it.
Same with, man.
I refuse every one of them. I ain't going to Dollar General for your ass. No. Pick a different store.
Bro, you ain't been to a Dollar General till you've been sent to the Dollar General in fucking downtown Raleigh, the Dollar General Express.
Now, I don't have a problem with shopping in Dollar General. I don't have a problem going there myself for my own personal needs and looking for deals and bargains and stuff like that. No worries, because I've got all the time in the fucking world and I can go look through bullshit. Because you know, and anybody who's been into a Dollar General knows that people don't get paid enough and there's not enough of them there to stock the fucking store.
Fuck no. I've seen videos of like customers helping fucking put shit in the fucking...
Guilty as charged. I've done it. Especially if it was a Hot Wheels car while I was collecting. You got... Oh shit, that Hot Wheels box is down there in the middle of that fucking store. I'm going to help you put all this stock up so I can get to that box of Hot Wheels cars before everybody else. So yeah, I've done it. But to go in and shop for somebody else when I ain't getting paid but a few fucking dollars,
yeah,
it's going to take me an hour to fucking do it. I know you think it's only going to take 5 minutes because you know where all that stuff is in that particular fucking store, but I fucking don't.
Yeah, if I get one of the red card orders, now that I got it on, I can't turn it back off, and that pisses me off.
Well, if you really get pissed off about it, report it stolen and don't tell me you don't want to know.
It's digital. I don't have a physical card. Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah, man. Let me show you.
Oh,
I never had a physical card.
I don't have the digital option, even though I have wallet.
You should be able to.
I could put it on there if I want to, but I don't want to know.
That's the only way I do it is ding.
Because then that account gets to mix with my account. What the fuck happens if I accidentally flip over to my fucking card instead of their card? Fuck that.
Now, see, I don't have that problem because that's my Cash App account and there's never anything in it. I put money there.
Well, I've got my actual card on my phone because some damn times the card readers are jacked and I got to pull the phone out to pay for the fucking shit because they've already handed me my food and I've already taken a bite out of the burger and they ain't getting that shit back.
Yeah, I've learned now because I don't carry anything with me except for my phone really and whatever drug paraphernalia I need. So like I'll ask a place now before I order food. Do you have tap to pay? If not.
But yeah, I mean, like the jobs, like DoorDash, all these other damn jobs. I mean, as long as we can make a pay, more than just us can make a living off of it.
Yeah,
we're down at the bottom. We're delivery boys. Okay, that's one of the base bottom jobs in America.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody looks down on us. but we move shit around.
Yeah. I'm okay with it.
I can't live wonderfully. There's a bunch of stuff I can't fucking do.
Right.
Especially after being out of work for a while because of being injury. But even if I was working at full time, both me and my wife working at full time, it would be accustomed to the life that I had working my last corporate job. Because after expenses and all that, be about what I'm making, which was more than I've ever made anywhere else. $15, $20 an hour, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good on that. Most people right now are looking at, yeah, that's bullshit. I don't want to fucking work $20 an hour. Okay, I get that. If you're in fucking California, New York, depends on where you live. North Carolina is one of the cheapest states in the fucking union to live in.
Yeah, it ain't too bad.
So $20 an hour is pretty decent here. Not great, but it's decent. Consider minimum wage is what, $7.35? Yeah, okay, yeah. And so as long as we can give these people something to do to earn their money when they get here, and we need to make that avenue faster, streamline that, I think we can ease the problem that people see of the immigration.
Yeah.
Because immigration is not a problem.
No,
It's the fact that people are having a problem immigrating is the problem.
Yeah, that exactly. It's not the immigration itself, right? It's the ability to do it. People. It's just like with anything. If it is easier to go around the law to do something than it is to do it the legal way, everybody's going to go the other way.
Exactly.
Because it's.
So yeah, maybe if we quit voting on other issues as a main issue to vote on. Like, I'm going to vote Republican because A. I'm going to vote Democrat because B.
No, you need to vote A, B.
Which one of them is going to check the most boxes? Not which one of them do I hate the most. Not which one of them made the most stir on TV last week.
No, yeah, that is part of it, the popularity thing. And like I said, I prefer to look at certain issues, right? I would rather make a vote about a certain issue than vote for a person who I've learned not to trust them. They can say anything.
And on the vote fucking issue, and I know we keep fucking circling around, but it always touches back to the topic. This particular cycle, we've got better candidates. We've got better choices than the two front runners that we see.
But it's always going to be one of the two front runners.
Yes. But it boggles my mind why we're so trapped in there, except for the fact that stupidity of the human race, only looking at one fucking thing. Usually it's the R and the D. Fuck a damn topic. We just, are they Republican? No, I ain't voting for them. I ain't voting up fucking stilt for dinner for crap. Man, guys, we've got better candidates that are better choice than either one of those. Even if you look on senility alone, every fucking one of them is more qualified. The entire field is more qualified on senility alone.
Yeah. These two are the oldest two running in history, breaking a record they set last cycle.
Yes.
It's getting ridiculous. They keep talking about, Biden senile. Well, Trump's talking about himself in third person now.
And so those on the left is always talking about this fucking glass ceiling that we have to break.
I ain't figured out what all that is.
I want to ask you a question. It's a serious question, and I would love to get some answers off of this.
I don't know
Even from you.
I don't even know what a glass. I mean, I hear the term.
Getting a woman bugging. That's their glass ceiling. Shattering the glass ceiling of women. Getting a woman elected in that's their glass ceiling. We've had women everywhere else. Got to put one in the White House.
See, I say we take gender and race out of the equation and go by qualification. That's to me the glass ceiling.
Yeah. Fuck gender, fuck race, fuck all that shit. I got that. Yeah. But my point is that was a huge fucking driving point for everybody wanting to vote for Hillary.
Yeah, it should not have been.
It should not have been, but it is, and I get it, and let's accept it. Why the hell isn't Nikki Haley a better candidate than fucking Biden or Trump? She's a woman, and she's a better candidate than either one.
Probably going to end up being fucking Trump's, what's the word?
Vice.
Yeah.
Running mate.
Running mate. Yep. Yeah. That's the word. That's the one I was looking for.
Maybe. It would help him. Sadly.
I just want Al Gore. You know,
I wanted Perot.
I after all that watching Trump and shit.
But now after seeing the Trump, I don't know if I wanted Perot.
Now we see where it would have gone.
Hey.
But no, after all that research we did for Trump, I watched both of Al Gore's documentaries just so I can see what a good leader sounds like. Like, God damn it. I want to live in the alternate universe where he won. And the thing is, you know why? What makes me like him?
No, I
even
disagree
more?
with his points. I would say he was a decent leadership figure.
He's fucking honest in anything I've.
Yeah, he was a great leadership figure.
Yes, better than winning.
I could disagree with him better than I can agree with either one we have.
I'd be happier. And, you know, even the things I disagreed on, I'm like, God, at least he comes at it from a rational.
Like I said, there's things about Trump that I agree with his ideas on. I cannot tolerate Trump, even though I agree with some of his ideas.
For every good idea.
That would be like me saying I want Hitler because he can possibly motivate us.
For every good idea Trump had, there was 5, let's fill the Rio Grande with alligators.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we can have this. All we got to do is build Auschwitz. No!
Oh, man.
Yes, this is good. That's so much worse, though. Can't have this good because of that worse. But we got so much better that don't bring all that worse with them. Were they as good in this part? No, but they're not that bad.
You know who else I kind of like this cycle that's not getting enough? And he might have dropped out by now, I don't know. The guy from the Young Turks. Chink or whatever. Chink.
Yeah,
I've
never heard it enough, unfortunately.
I've seen it. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I like him.
I would have probably put a vote his way just because I don't share all of his views.
No, but I can
share where he's coming from on them.
Exactly. I can at least see his reasoning.
Yes.
And it's not greed.
It's not enough to say we both see this as a problem. Your solution will not fix anything of the problem. This solution will help. It ain't going to fix it, but it ain't going to make it worse. That's where I see him at, is that his solutions and his ideas, much more like I think on mine, may not be the best.
But it's better.
But at every viewpoint you can look at it, it's better than what we have.
It comes from a point of rationality.
Yes. Logic, ration, and reason. A little bit of compassion.
That's it. For fuck's
Mine
sake.
could definitely use more compassion. I get that. And I fully admit that. My views could use more compassion.
That's why you have me, Mike.
That's why I'm an idea man and not a do man. Y'all folks need to pay me to think of shit. And then somebody else decide what of that shit we need to do. Because I'll give you a bunch of good ideas. What you do with it now can lead to the world destruction, but it's still a good idea.
You heard it here first, folks. World destruction is still a good idea.
No, what you did with it lead to the world destruction.
Well, hold on now. I mean, we shouldn't rule it out offhand.
It's like atomic fission. Atomic fusion. You know, led to the atomic bomb. You know,
it also led to it also led to like cheaper power sources.
Exactly.
And
so,
maybe Chernobyl.
Fusion's a good idea. Fusion and fission's great ideas. It's what happened out of them can be bad though. That was the point there. You know, just because we can have a good idea doesn't mean we're not going to have bad results. It's which one's going to give the best positive and the least negative. That's what we got to go at. And most of the solutions I'm seeing, unfortunately, from the right side of the aisle, my fellow conservatives over there, you know, even though I'm a liberal conservative, we got to throw that in there. I'm way more liberal than these fucking liberals today.
Yeah. The thing is, they keep moving. You're not moving. They are. You're staying the same. They keep moving those goalposts. They keep moving
farther away.
Pretty soon, you're going to be far left.
To the point where they're calling liberalism a bad word.
20 years ago, my views are kind of central, right? And now, I'm a fucking far left anarchist. You know? I didn't change. I have a lot of the same feelings that I had as when I grew up. Like, the world's fucked up. People are unhappy.
You've become a little more conservative on some of your views. I know that puts a bad taste.
I don't know,
and I hate it, but you have become a little more conservative. Instead of wanting to go out and actually destroy everything, you become more open to the idea of fixing the thing.
I would love to see that as an option, yes.
That is a step toward conservatism, away from what most of the conservatives today would call radicalism.
I still feel like, though, the best solution has a lot of destruction. I mean, I point again to Stalin, and
there is the not a moral, the fable of or something along those lines, that to be able to build, you first must destroy.
Yeah. Nobody makes omelets without cracking some eggs.
Yeah, you can't build a fucking skyscraper on a cracked foundation of a house.
Yeah, you gotta tear
the foundation out.
So on that, I still am very much in the destroy everything, but
you're more open to rebuilding something in its place instead of living.
Always was.
No, you were into living in the chaos.
Well, I was chaos.
Yeah, you wanted to live in the chaos, burn it all down, fuck everybody, fend for yourself, more along the lines, kind of a thing.
It'd be more free than the system we currently have.
Yes,
and I still stand by that.
But you are now more open to the fact that there can be a system where people willingly give up some of that personal autonomy for the betterment of everybody else.
Yeah, the Borg and whatnot. Yeah.
Right.
Star Trek actually kind of helped turn me around a lot on some of that, to be honest.
And I would probably say seeing some of the more recent ventures into where society tries to make us the ideal.
Yeah, I've had more time to look and see where things are, like what's working here.
Way harder to fucking make what everybody wants happen actually happen. People tried it. They tried it almost every fucking way in 15 different places, but it just doesn't fucking work.
Well, that's why we need a higher power.
We need AI, yes, because would power corrupt AI?
I don't.
Or is the only thing that can corrupt AI a bad memory module?
If AI is corruptible, right? If it can take a bribe, if it can turn its blind eye and whatnot, you know what I mean? If AI is corruptible, then at least we've tried everything.
Yes.
That is the only thing left to try.
There we have it. Our fucking epitaph for humanity's tombstone. At least we tried.
Yeah. Because any type of... We have had a million years to come up with different systems for humans to live under.
Well, a few 100,000.
We've existed for 1 million. But sure, let's say we've had, even if we go by the Christian look at it, we've had 10,000 years of trying to find a system that we can create that will work for us. I think we have proven for thousands and thousands of years that we are incapable of doing such. We are incapable of doing and then maintaining such, I should say. There have been utopias that didn't last long here and there.
Usually because a utopian society doesn't think about fighting. Because they're more about fellowship. Unfortunately, your neighbor is the Spartans.
Yeah.
So what do you do there? You train for fighting. Because the Spartans are there. Or the Persians. Because Sparta sitting over there, Greece over there loving their city-state life.
Sparta was almost a utopia, really.
Yeah. And then here come the fucking Persians.
Who was also a utopia. Everywhere the Persians took over, retained their sovereignty.
It defined utopia in that fact because it was kind of more of an empire-ish thing. Now they did maintain their culture, some of their culture and all that. This is what I was talking about. Like with the border thing, you're still going to have borders. even when you have the empire, the one world order, you're still going to have culture. So you're still going to have regions, which all would be borders, because they allowed them to have their culture, but they were still under a rule.
They were still under Persian rule, but here basically how it broke down was they went into these places. Sure, Greece wasn't necessarily all tribal, but they would go these places and they'd take over. And they would build roads. They would build fucking infrastructure.
It wasn't quite that.
Colleges.
It wasn't quite that.
Rome did the same thing.
No. The Persians was more. Here's my emissary.
Right.
Here's a list of rules that you are now going to start following. If you do so, you are allowed to maintain your culture and your society, and you can have any other rules or gods that you want to, as long as they don't supersede these. However, if you decline this, we're going to wipe your ass out.
And take it anyway.
Yeah.
And then they would go in these places and
not exactly
would improve.
Close.
Utopia. All right, so you now have roads, you have water, you have infrastructure, you have
now your God is second to their God. Your laws are second
gods
to their
are irrelevant. How is your quality of life?
But quality of life is part of what gods you could worship if you
can
don't
still
like
worship your gods.
Maybe, but it's second to theirs. That's a slap in the face in that particular side of things.
Well, only to monotheists. Pagans, they'll gladly accept it.
Okay, just on a thing like this, I fucking hate sweet potatoes, right? Okay, their culture comes through there and says, you can have all your culture there, but the fucking natural potato is a fucking sweet potato. Every meal has to have a sweet potato.
You don't have to eat it. Just have it there.
Don't even want that shit on touching my plate.
But
just
the thing is, now you have a plate of food, whereas before you didn't.
I had a plate of food before because they changed what my plate of food was.
Not in every case.
Not in every way, but in every case. They changed what my plate of food was by telling me I had to have this on my plate to even have the plate. I already had a plate. I already had my plate full of food. My whole fucking life was fine. And then here you come tell me I got to put something else on my fucking plate. That's what that was. Now, for people to like that addition to the plate, okay, I got a bigger plate. Fine. And sometimes that worked out great. But in every instance, you were putting something extra on that guy's plate.
Yes, but with
forcing them to put it on that plate. That's the only part I don't like about it. And that's where I say it's not a utopia. It's because it crossed that line.
It's more of a utopia.
It wasn't the thing, hey guys, we got this whole thing going on over here. Would you like to join us? And
they
then
tried
to do all that shit. And it didn't work and they went to violence. Right.
They tried that. And again, that's why I say I am still kind of pro Thanos, right? Every child's belly was full. The skies were blue. And it was fair.
Well, okay. Let's take that hypothetical thing for a little bit, because I've got some questions about that Thanos snap that I've never fucking seen answered in the movies. Half of all life? Or just half of a particular life?
Yeah, that did seem to be, because I didn't see, did half of the trees die?
Exactly. Because if it's half of all humans, okay.
Then why did Rocket go away?
Exactly. He's raccoon, but he had some human DNA, so maybe. But if it was not just, if you can control it and say half of humans and everything else is fine.
Maybe it was sentient life. Half all sentient life.
Right? I know, what are we going to eat, man? Half our cows, half our deer, half the ants? Fuck, bro, no. The entire ecosystem goes the fuck away from me, and then the half the humans that's left ain't got jack shit. You ain't changed nothing.
It is my favorite thing in the Avengers storyline, but it is also the easiest thread to pull.
Yeah, you haven't changed the balance of anything. All you done is half it.
But if you just remove, if we brought it down,
it's exactly the same. But what you have done is now which tree? Was it the fruitful tree or the not fruitful?
Now,
which tree died? The one that's diseased or the one that's healthy?
Look at what he was doing, though, before.
Which person died? The person with cancer or the fucking 12-year-old that's got a full life ahead of him?
50-50.
All the kids died, all the old people fucking, we're fucked.
Yeah, that would suck. But here, the way he was doing it before he got the gauntlet was he would go to a planet and just kill 50% of the population.
There he can at least not aim for the children.
That's true. That's true. Because
But the glove discriminated.
his no, it did not. The glove was indiscriminate.
So it could have just said it's fucking random, or it's we're going to play the odds and I'm going to take a percentage of everything. It could have been. We don't know. That was not answered.
It should have been. It'd been great. It'd been great.
If it took out half the population, and you took out half that population of everybody under the age of 18, the human race is fucked. We're not living through that.
No. But
If you said, okay, I'm taking all the healthy ones, I'm leaving half the disease, we're fucked.
Yeah, I mean, but you see the point, though, right?
I do. But it would have to be discriminate. And there's the problem. We can do the discriminate shit all by ourselves. We're really good at it.
Yeah, but and then you come into the things like,
We're really good at cutting off whole swaths of the population and saying you don't deserve something.
yeah, Dick Cheney does not deserve a heart transplant.
We're really good at it. So we could go that way really easily and have a lot of extra resources left for the rest of us. But unfortunately, we would all be white. I don't like that option. And I'm white.
I know.
I happen to find people with some color in their skin very fucking attractive. I don't want them to go away.
Yeah, and they make better food. Like, white people food isn't that great. You got to go to England to see white people food. Anything over here is melting pot shit. You go to England.
Okay. I was trying to figure out where to go with that because all the white people I know are from here and they know how to cook everything from everywhere and they're pretty fucking good at it.
England. Outside of their breakfasts, the English food looks horrible.
Because this is where all these flavors come together to find something new nobody ever thought would work. And oh my God.
Yeah.
So you can't say that what, but yeah, to find white food for cultural thing, yeah, it'd be England. Them motherfuckers eat blood pudding, man. Fuck you guys.
Yeah. But I do like the English breakfast with the beans and the sausages and the bacon and the eggs.
I like the idea of it, just, no con carne.
I like a big heavy breakfast.
Yeah, I like all the rest of that shit. Just keep the fucking beans out of it. All of them. Every fucking one of them.
God.
None of them. Don't give me a fucking bean.
Too much flavor in the beans.
No fucking, don't. Burn them all.
Oh.
Hey, I tell you what, y'all can have all the beans. Give me all the cows. A lot less cows will be on the fucking on the earth. Y'all can have all the fucking beans.
Well, honestly, beans taste better cooked with like pork. So
I just about pork. I just want the cow.
yeah, that's what I said. That's fine.
Yeah, y'all can have. I tell you what, I'll give. Just give me the bacon. Some of the bacon. Share the bacon. You can have the rest of the hog.
That's fine. That leaves me with the jowls.
That leaves you with everything else and bacon. Yes. I'm perfectly fine with that. And this is why I say, folks, if you put me in charge of some money that's going to help other people, yeah, I mean, the other people are actually going to get help because I don't want the shit they want.
It is impossible to cook for this man.
Half the food in Mexico, I probably would, and in Texas and all that fucking region over there, I probably wouldn't even touch. So the people would get fed. Because there's everything else there for them to eat.
You'll just move a McDonald's into your house.
I really don't like McDonald's or whatever. Give me the Bojangles, man. Yeah. Or Hardee's. Yeah. I like Hardee's.
I actually like Hardee's breakfast.
Yeah, like I say, I can get everything I want from a Hardee's. Everything else down there, you can have the corn. Yeah, I'll take a little bit on occasion. Y'all can have the corn. Y'all can have the all the lettuce and the tomatoes, and I don't want none of that.
All the fiber.
I mean, I'll add some lettuce to my burger. I'm not opposed to eating lettuce. I like a good salad.
That actually surprises me.
Don't put fucking beans and corn in my salad.
Well, that's a specific type of salad.
And of course, you West Virginia folk, don't give me a salad and then pour fucking bacon grease all over it. As much as I like bacon.
What? What a waste of bacon grease and salad.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a real thing, but I was told it was. I've only experienced it once. It's absolutely fucking horrible. I did try it.
There's
The
a
smell
state.
is awesome. The ingredients are awesome, but when you mix them together, it's kind of like milk and orange juice. It don't fucking work.
There is a state.
And
I'm
yes,
not
I've
sure
tried
if
milk
it's,
and orange juice. It don't fucking work.
I'm not sure if it's Pennsylvania or Ohio. There is a state where pizza is basically Lunchables pizza. It's just cold sauce, cold cheese, cold pepperoni.
I mean, I could find that in almost every state, but as that would be their definition of a pizza.
It's their style, right? Like how you have the New York style pizzas and you have the Chicago style pizzas, which really Chicago pizza is just lasagna. But yeah,
Well, that's definitely a nor'easter thing.
yeah.
I can limit that far. It's definitely a nor'easter thing. I wouldn't be able to live like Vermont, Maine,
It's something.
New Hampshire.
It's some state I'm never eating pizza in. Like I can just
Man, I don't mean.
At least give me
Bostonians
squeeze
ain't that fucking
cheese.
stupid.
at least give me squeeze cheese.
Just joking, guys. I don't think Bostonians are stupid. Yeah, but
The wicked spot.
even you wouldn't come up with a pizza like that. That's what I'm getting at.
I have a friend who actually went on a pizza tour, like worldwide. Went to he went to like Italy and had like old nanas like.
Ah, bro, you just gave me some. Now I got a bucket list.
Yeah, I can hit up Alan and find out how much it cost him. But he went to like Sicily and where old nanas were like
I was
doing
fine
classes.
dying.
But now you gotta live. You could have died happy yesterday. But now there's pizza tours.
That's what I want to do. How do you do that? I've never had something I want to do.
Like, wow,
What is this motivation shit? How does it work? Help.
it was like pizza.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Where is this shit?
Speaking of pizza, I gotta run to Food Line, so we need to wrap this one up.
Oh my fucking god! Yeah,
Yeah.
this is definitely going to be a two-parter, folks. So if
Yep.
you're catching this one, this is part 2, and I hate that you had to wait a week for it.
Yep. I'll probably put the break-in point where you went to go pee.
Yeah, it'd probably be a great one. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, folks, look deeper into your issues. One thing I do want to tell folks, a little bit of advice for how you're getting your information. You see this nice shiny article, this headline, it gets your attention. And it's something that you really care about. So you read the headline. Yeah, you click the link, you run into the headline, and you start fucking reading, and they say, hey, according to so-and-so source, stop fucking reading right there.
Yep. Go to the source.
Go to that source. Click that link. If they don't have a link, I question, you stop reading from that particular source that you're reading from because they're not giving you their sources. But copy and paste and go find that fucking source and continue reading from there. Stop reading from where you were, continue reading from the source and base your own fucking opinion. I don't care where you're getting your news from nowadays. There's always opinion behind it. Everybody's opinion, including your own, has the same weight and value. No, everybody's opinion has the same weight and value. Right, wrong, or indifferent has the same value.
Well,
Once, okay, caveat, asterisk, once you are informed. Once you've looked at the data yourself, you now are informed. Your opinion is now as valuable as everybody else's. Go look at the data yourself. Look at the fucking numbers. Look at what's happening. Look at where it's all going.
what about flat earthers though? Young Earth creationists who have been informed, have been shown the data, reject it. Is their opinion just as valid as a scientist,
I did not say valid.
or equal value?
Yes.
I can't agree there.
You want to know why? Because it brings up conversation. Conversation leads to education. Education leads to truth.
Oh, I guess
Even if somebody is wrong in their opinion, it is still valuable.
Okay,
because
yes.
it brings
When
a
you-
discussion to the table.
I get you now. You're not talking about like implementation.
I'm
of
not
the
saying
opinion.
that it's right. I'm saying that your opinion, right, wrong, or indifferent, is just as valuable as anybody else's.
Sure, until it comes to the point of implementing it, right?
Right.
That's where I was saying there's no, absolutely not.
That's where you start putting value to it. You know, where you assign how much value. Is it right? Is it wrong? Okay, you're wrong. So now we found the value in your opinion as to find out that you were wrong, and you need a little education here that's going to lead you to the right. Or we're going to find out that I was wrong, and we're going to find me some education to lead me to the right.
But what about the opinions that have been educated and still
get into it?
Ignorant opinions exist.
It doesn't negate the value of an opinion. You have the right, and your opinion is as valuable on topic.
Sure.
If you are informed, that caveat I give. If you are informed, your opinion on it is just as valuable. It may be wrong, but to get to the right answer, you have to wade through some wrong ones, unless somebody's already got the right one. You don't know you got the right one unless you tried the wrong one. There's nothing to compare to.
That's fair.
Nothing to compare to.
Yep. We couldn't say the Earth wasn't flat until we could.
Until we put satellites up there, or actually found the measurements or something like that. Found a flat place big enough to actually do a measurement. Like, I mean, why does the boat go disappearing over the edge of the water? Well, when I sail over there, there's more fucking water here. What the fuck happened? Well, if you put a straight line, the only thing that you can do to block that person's point of view from point A to point B is raise the ground up in the middle of it.
Kind of makes sense.
The only option. If somebody disappears from view and you go to where they disappeared and there's more there,
then clearly the world isn't flat. Yeah, you would think, but no.
So yeah, they're wrong. But what it does is that staying on that example, that brings more people to the whole discussion of science. The people that would have thought that are now finding, no, by educating themselves and finding, no, that ain't right. So I'm gonna steer away from that and actually educate myself, and that opens up the whole fucking world for them. So that wrong opinion still has value.
There's
as much value
debate to be had as to the time spent and energy spent on trying to prove to idiots that the world is
the cost benefit is out of whack.
You know, like we're spending all this time debating whether the world is flat, you know, but we still ain't figured out cancer, you know.
But because of that debate still going on to this day, there's new people that will not join into it.
Yeah, no.
Now there's a couple of them that are going to fall into it because there are for some fucking reason some people that just ignore the simplest of fact that's staring them right in the fucking face, even when they prove it to themselves.
I would go so far as to say a big part of that,
which might be part of the immigration problem. Staring the problem in our face, but we're too stupid to see.
I think that the whole nature, at least in America, that whole thing goes back to the Kennedy assassination, right? The whole world, they didn't see a conspiracy, but what they did see was a cover-up. So ever since then, everything is a cover-up. Everything is a conspiracy. The facts are to be ignored because they might not be real, right? I point it towards that. Everybody saw a cover-up happening, and now who can trust anything?
Well, I'm calling out the American people on this particular part of our episode's topic on it, with the conspiracies and stuff, is that the conspiracy should be that Americans aren't really the fucking humanitarian and the people that we say we are, that we propose out to the world that we are, because we're staring at humanitarian
and doing nothing
that need at our doorstep,
making it worse. Actually, not just doing worse than doing nothing.
Actively making it worse.
Yeah.
While we're trying to make ourselves look better on the world stage over there to you guys, for our overseas listeners. Not that I'm saying that we shouldn't be concerned with Ukraine and Gaza and anybody else over there facing any kind of fucking problem. We should. We all should. Every fucking one of us on this planet. But us over here in America, specifically on this issue, is really showing our hypocrisy.
How ridiculous we are.
So, Americans every fucking one of you guys that are listening to us, that are still listening to us.
8 hours later.
I challenge you, solve this fucking problem. We haven't met a problem we can't solve yet.
Yeah, we got to the moon.
We got to the moon. We found oil. We stole oil. We stole land.
Yeah.
We eliminated people in our way. We haven't found a fucking problem that we can't solve yet. Solve this one.
Yeah, agreed. Well, I guess that's going to do us for today, folks.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to land it.
That is a good place to stop it. That was good. Yeah. Hit us up on our YouTubes and our Spotify's and the iRadio podcast, Apple, Amazon, whoever's.
Should be about any place that you can imagine.
Yeah, we're all
places that we don't know about.
Yeah, we're all over. I new places kept popping up, so I quit keeping track. Hit us up at Stoner's Point Podcast at gmail.com. Any kind of requests, complaints, ideas, thoughts. Our next episode will probably be what?
It will be one of the two that we mentioned.
AI or wages.
AI, wages. Oh, there was another one in there that we were
Climate change.
Climate change. Any of those topics, those are going to be the next ones we're going to be focusing on. That's what my roulette's going to be on from my rabbit hole generator of YouTube and other podcasts and stuff like that. That's where I'll get most of. Not where I get all my information from, but it
helps you. It tells you where to look.
Topic points very well.
Yeah, it lets you know where to look.
It gives you bullet points, and it gives a lot of references from all these places. So you go down rabbit holes, and you get a lot of places to look for information for you to base your own opinion. Yeah. Don't listen to their opinions. Well, don't base your life on their opinions. Listen to their opinions, but don't base your fucking opinions on their opinions. Listen to their opinions. Look at the information, come up with your own opinion, and then build your life around that, right?
Yep.
So we'll see y'all next time, folks. Send us some comments. We'll see you next time.
Yep.
Sign it out, Richard.
Fuck around, find out.